NBA season offers a chance to get to know some of the new potential superstars like 20-year-old Dirk Nowitzki. Who, you ask? Well, the Dallas Mavericks thought highly enough of Nowitzki to engineer a draft day trade with the Bucks after they'd selected him with the 9th overall pick.
With the 9th pick in the 1998 NBA draft, the Milwaukee Bucks select Dirk Nowitzki.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Welcome everybody. We got our guests in the back. We see you back there, Mustard. Just give us a thumbs up whenever you're ready. All right, guys. We back. Welcome to a brand spanking new episode of We Talk Mavs, where we talk Dallas Mavericks from a fan's perspective, guys. Listen, man. It is the two guys that are tearing up at the moment that we've finally been waiting for. Go ahead and wipe that up, man. I ain't got no tissue. It is your boy Rail and your boy King representing. Can you a hater, bro? I know you got that throwback, bro. But listen, man, we'd like to welcome y'all. Like I said before, man, we got special guests backstage. We thank everybody for coming here, rocking with us on a Saturday morning, man. You could have been anywhere else in the world, but you're here with us, and we definitely appreciate that. So we're gonna go ahead and get this thing going, man. I know a lot of people got a lot of things to do. I know people still got the crust in their eyes. Ain't even had their morning coffee yet, man. So we're gonna get this thing going. Let's go ahead and introduce our guest. We got Young Mustard in the building, man. We'd like to welcome him. First time on the show. What's good, man? What's good?
What's good? What's good? Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Good. I'm sorry about the delay and everything. I just moved, so like the first thing I was just looking for, I couldn't even find my camera. I couldn't find all my stuff. Like I'm still in the process of moving. So yeah, appreciate y'all for having me. I mean, I see y'all Mavs fans. Honestly, since y'all wearing jerseys, maybe I should go rep, a jersey of myself. My team's not really doing too well, but
go
my
ahead,
favorite.
man, go ahead.
I mean, I ain't gonna wear a Bulls jersey. I'm not gonna wear that. Not right now.
No, you fine. Hey, as long as it's Jordan, man, you good, man.
I mean, if it's Jordan, that's different. But I don't got a Jordan Bulls jersey. I do have jerseys of real champions though, so I can go get that out as well.
It's a gold tag on the back of this.
Oh, what's the number of that jersey? Let me see.
It's 41. 41. What you mean?
That's cool. That's cool. I mean, we passed that up already, but it's all good.
Okay.
We passed it up. My players passed up Dirk years ago. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not worried about that.
Now I'm really curious on who it is now.
No, Dirk is like that though. I like Dirk. Great player. Even though, like I said, all my favorite players passed him up years ago. It's all good though.
Oh man.
Oh, we definitely gonna ask you about the power forward debate.
Yeah, I like Dirk though. That's my guy.
Hey, I gotta start with this, Young Mustard, man. This is probably one of the most interesting videos of yours I've seen. King's probably the only guy I know that was really getting on this guy. But then when I seen your video, it's like you took it to another level. I gotta get you. You gotta let the folks know, man, at home, your opinion on Kevin Garnett. Kevin Durant.
Kevin Durant.
Yeah. I saw that video and I was like, Jesus, man, you was going in on the dude, man.
No, KD is a great player. I don't hate KD. I'm not an OKC fan that's gonna hate KD. I actually have a roommate. He's an OKC fan. He just can't stand KD. But I actually do defend KD a lot more than people think. But I do think there's a subsection of people that don't hold KD to the standards he should be held to. And that's usually the same people that will say he's like the best in the world or he's like top 2 or 3. And it's like, if you think that, then why are you not holding him to the same standards that we hold Giannis to, that we hold Steph to, even Jokic, who granted just won the championship this year, but go look how people were talking about Jokic before they won the championship 2 years ago and last year. Even though it really wasn't his fault he was losing. He was a part of the reason, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't his fault. Look at the teammates around him. But like Kevin Durant, even when he does have those supporting pieces, or even when he does, play well or play bad, it's like people are always quick to find an excuse for him. And they never do that with other players. They never do that with other players. Like Giannis this past year. We didn't do that with Giannis. We didn't do that with Curry. We didn't do that with even LeBron. At this old age, he's still held to a certain standard. And I think KD right now is better than LeBron, but like there are even players that are worse than KD that I think get more slander for, not living up to their expectations and their standards. And that's been my problem with Kevin Durant, that nobody really holds him to that, or at least that section of people that think he's the best player in the world. They don't hold him to that standard.
Preach. I feel the same way, Mustard. I'm a big fan. I think Kevin Durant, once he decided, I guess, to go to Golden State that little time or whatever, made him into like this ultimate role player. And I say that with the most respect ever. And I don't mean a role player like his skills. We know that Kevin Durant is one of the most skilled big men of all time. But as far as his place, he doesn't go there to be, he's like a role player. He's like a Kyle Korver or such. He goes to certain teams to fit a certain role to just do things, and that's score buckets. Like he's never been the greatest defender. He had his greatest defensive moments in Golden State. He's never been held accountable as a leader on teams. On every team he's been to, it's been someone else who's been the leader on the team. Even Kyrie for the Brooklyn Nets. I just feel that Kevin Durant had decided once he went to Golden State, and this may be what he's okay with at the end of his career. I think he doesn't want to be on the bus with a Charles Barkley or a Karl Malone or somebody like that. I think he just wants to have that on his resume that he has chips, so that he doesn't have to be that type of guy. Because at the end of the day, if he didn't have the Golden State run, we're really questioning, is he better than Charles Barkley? Is he better than Karl Malone? As far as it's not just a skill on the floor and not just him being able to put up buckets, but him leading to success and wins. And there's a lot of failure that goes on in Kevin Durant's career if you take away those Golden State runs. A lot of big failures, actually. So that's the way I feel about KD. Like I said, I agree with you on most of your points as far as him. I think he's incredible. I think he's one of the most skilled players we've seen, especially at his size. You can't take that away from him. But I do think he shies away, and he gets a lot of, like you said, doesn't get a lot of flack or whatever as far as being a superstar or supposedly being the best player or second best player. If he didn't have those 2 championships and he had his foot on the line, he would have got destroyed for that. But nobody else holds him accountable to it. It's like, well, he had his foot on the line and it was so close to winning. And it's like, well, he made it 2 instead of a 3. That's Tragic Johnson or anything else like that, I feel like. So,
well, to be fair, I think also I also think something else about KD that a lot of people are kind of hesitant to admit, or they just don't watch enough to see, is that KD as a player, and it's just like it's not a bad thing what I'm about to say, but KD as a player is not the player he was a couple years ago. Like athletically, the way he moves, how he tries to get by people, he doesn't have that like extra burst since that Achilles injury. And that's not even a bad thing. He's getting older. That's just how it is. People age out, like people think that because LeBron's doing what he's doing, everybody's just going to play forever, be at their prime. But KD, I think KD, if you look at how he's playing now, like for the Suns, he's slowly turning into obviously he's better than this guy, but the way he played on that Suns teams, at times he looked like Mikal in that role. And I mean that in the playoff run. Obviously, he's better than Mikal. He can attack better. He can attack off the dribble. He can attack closeouts better. But go watch what Mikal was doing before the trade. Like in Phoenix, he was actually playing really good. He was averaging, I think, over 20 plus points per game. He was attacking closeouts, occasionally trying to take guys off the dribble. Really good shooter. from the mid range and from three.
Mhm.
KD just is way better than that. He could do all those things way better, more athletic, all of that. And he's a better decision maker, passer. He adds another element to that Mikal didn't bring. But at times offensively, they would just put KD in the corner or on the perimeter and treat him like a spot up guy. Just attack the closeouts and let D Book attack the defense, because you already attract so much attention as it is, And D Book, sometimes he would attack like these 4-on-3 scenarios, and it was just easier for him. That's why D Book, in my opinion, he benefited more from KD than KD benefited from him. That's why he went on like a crazy tear in the playoffs. But I think a lot of that is because KD is just he's not as athletically gifted as he was back then, as far as his speed, offensively and defensively. Guys be blowing by KD nowadays off defensively. He don't got it the way he used to have it. Still a good defender because of his size, shot blocking, help side defense, but there's definitely some elements of his game that have faded away due to the Achilles tear, in my opinion.
He accepts that, Mustard. And I feel like he's always accepted that. Not to say he shouldn't accept it at this point in his career, but just that he always is okay. I don't want to make a incorrect quote, or somebody quote me and say, "Oh, he's saying he's trash," or I'm not. I don't think Kevin Durant's trash. I think Kevin Durant at one point was the second best player in the NBA, behind LeBron James. I don't think he ever became the best player in the NBA ever. And right now, I think he's like him and LeBron are at that 10th, around that number 10 spot, somewhere around there as far as NBA players. I think he gets overrated still as far as KD, but his whole career I've watched him take the back seat. And at some point you got to hold him accountable for that, for being that superstar. I feel like he has to. Russell Westbrook, I can't win with Russell Westbrook. He said that, bro. Why can't you? Russ, you are the superstar on the team. You decide what goes on. I've watched too many times where Russ was over there just deciding what was going down. He left and went to Golden State. He said it was a different culture. Draymond Green called him out for doing something that they usually don't do. He got mad about it. He left that team. Like, same thing with Brooklyn. Like, Brooklyn, he could have went to New York. He could have came over here to the DMV and went to DC or whatever. He decided not to. He went to Brooklyn and decided to be with Kyrie. Kyrie's over there having his little issues and all to get James Harden. That didn't work. James Harden bounced real quick. He played the backseat again. Like, every time, I just feel like KD always takes that back seat. And it's like, at some point, we can't keep saying, well, he can take the back seat. He likes to play that role player position at certain times. And that's why I call him the ultimate role player. Like, he's a guy that's called the greatest scorer of all time, but has never had a 60-point game. Like, and that's because it's a role that he takes. Like, he's the ultimate assassin. And I don't know how to explain it without disrespecting him.
No, I get what you're trying to say. I do think, though, KD is so efficient that I don't think and I didn't know you just brought this up. I don't think this is all your argument, but like, he's so efficient that like a 60-point game, he would have to shoot a lot. Mm-hmm. Like, he'd have to shoot a lot. It would be kind of abnormal for KD to shoot that much to get to that. But like, I do think KD, as far as like his offensive motor, he doesn't really turn on that gear like that unless he's pushed to doing that. Like Pat Bev, saying what he said to KD, that pushed KD towards doing that. And granted, it's easy whenever you got Steph and Draymond, but KD said it himself. Go look up. I always encourage people when we have these combos, go look up Kevin Durant's quote about him being a leader. He literally said word for word, bar for bar, "I am not a leader. I do not want to be the face of a franchise." That's what he said. Like KD,
he just want to hoop.
Yeah, he just wants to hoop. And honestly, I can respect that. But like, my only problem with that is, don't then come out and say multiple times, "Why am I number 2? I was number 2 in college. I was number 2 coming into the league. I'm number 2 in the NBA. Like, when I won a championship, I was shocked that people said LeBron was still better than me." Like, it's clear he doesn't understand that like winning a championship is not all it takes to be the best in the world. Giannis, Steph, Jokic, they all won championships these past 3 years. You could argue either of them are better than the other right now. Now granted, I would lean more towards Jokic, but Jokic has had a case over the last couple of years. That championship really just cemented it because of what it took for him to get there. KD has not had that moment. Winning championships with Steph, Clay, and Draymond, that team just proved how important you were when they won a championship without you and before you. Granted, I think they needed KD to dominate the way they dominated the league. But they
Right.
didn't need KD to win a championship. You can win a championship sporadically here and there with or without KD. They just had Andrew Wiggins. They just had Andrew Wiggins. And if Jordan Poole was the player they wanted him to be for them, they probably might have won again. You know, so like KD has to understand that, yes, you won championships. You were in positions to win championships in OKC, though. And because you blew that, now time has passed. You got guys like Giannis in the league, Luka's in the league, you know, plenty of talent. Now, Jokic is in the league, of course. Plenty of talent is in the NBA now since you got hurt and left Golden State. Those opportunities now in OKC that you blew a 3-1 lead, you lost in the conference finals or the NBA finals, it hurts a little bit more now looking back on it because maybe that was the last opportunity you're going to get. Now, granted, he's in Phoenix, you know, D-Book and Bradley Beal. I'm not really a big fan of that big three, but, you know, they can move Aiden and maybe fix some of those holes on that team. We'll see how that goes. But all those past opportunities, it hurts a lot more now looking back on it, especially after that Achilles injury.
Yep.
All right. So let me get this straight, young mustard man. You came on the show preaching. That what you tried to decide to do? Okay, I got you, man.
Yeah, I'm always cooking, man. I'm always cooking. You feel me?
Yes, sir, man. Y'all definitely need to follow him, man. Listen. Speaking of, let me start with this, man. I know we supposed to be talking Mavs, but since we got you on, I kind of want to ask you some questions about some NBA stuff. What's your opinion on Wembanyama? Like, what do you think his ceiling could be? Or do you think he's gonna be good? Like, what's your overall opinion about it?
I definitely think he's gonna be good. I think he's gonna be great. I think he's gonna be one of the greatest players like we've ever seen. And the reason I think that is because, for one, the one thing I'm already like, I think 100% sold on with him is his defense. I think defensively he's gonna immediately translate to the league. And it's crazy because like me and my friend, my roommate, we're actually planning to go to San Antonio for that first game. Because I live in Houston, so I'm gonna be there. I'm definitely gonna be there. But like defensively, I think he's gonna immediately translate to the league. He could literally lead the league in block. I mean, if he's healthy, he could literally lead the league in blocks for his rookie season. And I think going forward on the perimeter or even in the paint in the interior, obviously his core strength is gonna have to improve a little bit. But I still think he could become an amazing defensive player, great rim protector, switchable on the perimeter to some degree. I think that immediately will translate. Now his offense. Now I think that is something that people should lower their expectations for immediate success. I don't think he's going to come in immediately and be Kevin Durant. Like, I think that's kind of like wishful thinking. Doesn't mean he won't come in and have moments or even a couple games where he looks like KD. He'll definitely have that. But like his handle is not something hella crazy to where he's just going to come in and start pulling up on dudes from behind the arc and, you know, getting past them consistently. I think he's going to be better used like in the dunker spot. Try to make him effective as a roller, like teach him those instincts right now, because there are going to be some lineups where he's not even like at the 5 or 4. And going forward, like in the future, he should be playing the 5. He should. So you teach him those instincts of rolling and being a great screener and lob threat, like going into the league, or at least in the beginning of his time in the league. He's already a really solid passer. If you saw like the summer league games, he was making some good reads, in my opinion, especially going downhill. So I would like to see that as well. I think as far as stats go, I could see him averaging like 19-9, 19-10, like his rookie year. But then when you get past his rookie year and he starts getting those reps on ball a lot more as like a creator, then I think you're going to get into the whole, dang, he looks like KD. Like that kind of convo is really going to start speeding up. And I think that's when he's going to go on to be like, I remember there was like I think it was a scout or somebody predicted, they said he could be an MVP and D-boy by year 3. I genuinely believe he could do that. Maybe not win the MVP, but be in the conversation for MVP and D-boy. Because D-boy, I think he's already going to come in. Similar like Evan Mobley, how he came in immediately and had D-boy level impact damn near. And then we just saw his second year where he almost won the defensive player of the year. Next year, Mobley could win it. So D-boy for Wemby by year 3 is not crazy. Now MVP, you know, that really does depend on how fast his offensive game keeps up. But I think, especially for a team like the Spurs that has been great with development, I like some of the pieces like Jeremy Sohan there, Keldon Johnson there. I like some of those pieces there. I definitely think they're going to give him the space to grow as an offensive player. So I could definitely see an MVP and DPOY season, or at least caliber seasons by year 3.
Man, that's a good point. So you think that I guess for both of y'all, do y'all think that Popovich is going to go more through Wemby this year, like he kind of did with Tim Duncan and them, or they gonna try to keep it more perimeter oriented? Because he can play a little bit on the perimeter. He's not really a big block threat or whatever. But as far as being on the block, but go ahead. Now go ahead.
No, go ahead.
And one more question. My bad. One more question. On top of that, you think he's gonna play the 4 or the 5?
I think immediately coming in, it's tough to say because like they don't really have another like real 5 that I would put on the court. So he probably will have to play the 5.
Yeah,
but
you're right.
Ideally, I would like for him to play the 4 first. See how he moves on the perimeter, how he can help and do all that. But like he probably have to play the 5 because Sohan, he's a 4, and I want him to get reps. I want Jeremy Sohan to be there with him. So I mean, it may not be ideal for him to play the 5, especially when like in the West where you gotta go up against AD, Gobert, Jokic. You know, there's a couple guys out there that might be
the
some
White
problems. It's a White Pal. Hey, no, Derek Lively. You feel me? Hey,
man,
Jason
but regardless, like I still do think that the White Pal. I still do think that that Wembanyama, he has to play the 5 kind of out of necessity. Now, if I see that Spurs roster, maybe there's a player there that might start. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm trying to run it down in my head. I can't think of it. Thiago's not there anymore,
Jakob.
so
yeah, they traded Jakob.
Oh yeah. So I said Thiago.
Zach Collins. Maybe Zach Collins. He could play some minutes with Zach Collins at the 5. I think Zach Collins is still on the team.
Wait, he's still there?
Not sure. I'm not sure now. I
remember. With,
did he sign somewhere else?
Miami?
Nah, there's no way. Miami, that's actually a solid pickup if they got him. They're gonna use that Heat culture and make him better.
I feel like he signed somewhere else, but you probably right. Maybe, yeah, I'm not sure. I feel like he signed somewhere else though. Maybe he's still there, but yeah, you're right though. They can play him at the 5 and then put Victor at the 4. That might work.
Yeah, but that wouldn't be a permanent thing because I mean, I think Sohan should start. You know, so like Collins, it's gonna be like some lineups, but like regardless, I still think Wemby, like to say that they should play him kind of like Tim Duncan. The thing with Tim Duncan is like Tim Duncan was a much more polished offensive player coming into the league. Like he immediately translated to being like a top 10 player. Now, granted, defensively, he was also very sound coming into the league. But I think offensively, like you could run and build your offense through him and really almost win a championship immediately. You know, they literally made the playoffs. They won over 50 games, I believe. Next year, they won the championship.
Yeah.
Now, granted, D-Rob was there as well. So that's another thing that also helped. So it's kind of tough. This situation, the Spurs are bad. You know, like I like what they're doing, mainly because they got Wemby now added to the equation, but it's because they added Wemby to the equation. Before, they were a bad team. You know, they were not a good team. Even as much as I like some of the other guys on the team, a lot of them aren't going to be there when Wemby hits his prime. Like Trey Jones, he won't be there.
Yeah,
I'm already sure of that. Even Keldon Johnson, he doesn't match the
I
age.
thought he's going to be gone this year, to be honest with you.
Yeah, he might be. I would, if I was the Spurs, I let him play out this year, get his value up again, a little bit higher, have him inflate his scoring numbers a little bit. Even if knowing the Spurs, they'll probably move him for like a 2 first or something. They're not really one to really like to get like hella players back for somebody or something like that. They're cool with draft picks. They're kind of like OKC in their own way when it comes to that. But I think it's tough because Pop doesn't even like threes. Like that's not his thing. And Wembanyama, knowing Pop, he'll probably use him more as a traditional big. Try to build up those fundamentals. He may not like it if he's out there on the perimeter, trying to beat guys off the dribble. But yeah, regardless, I think it'll be interesting to see how he uses him. Honestly,
do you think? I have 2 questions. Do you think they win 35 games this year? And 2, do you think Wemby becomes better than Tim Duncan?
Okay, that second one is a loaded question, but the 35 games, I guess it's possible. But another thing also is Wemby's health. Like people even forget when they're even talking about like rookie of the year. I'm sorry if y'all can hear my dog, but if they're talking about if they're talking about rookie of the year, I don't even think he might not even get that because it's 65 game requirement. You know, which by the way, that requirement is gonna kill a lot of awards. People thought that first team All NBA was crazy this year. That might be the reality going forward for the league. But as far as Wembanyama, 35. What did they win last year? Hold on, let me look that up.
They had to.
What did they win? How many games they won last year? Because
Was
they had to have won like 22, 23 games.
20 something, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna look it up real quick.
Yeah, because so like we're probably talking like a 10 plus game jump. I mean, I'll say this: if Wemby is who people are saying he could be and who I think he could be, a 10 game
22.
jump, 22. Okay. Oh, so that's like that's a 13 game jump.
Who is he a 13 game jump guy? Can he get you 13 wins?
I mean, is that bad for generational?
Yeah, he's a generational prospect.
Yeah, you're right. He's a generational prospect. So we're gonna see.
Like I said, health is also a big thing here. Like that to me is like the biggest thing. Like if he only plays, let's say 60 games, let's say they jump to 30 wins. I think that's kind of impressive. I think that's impressive. 8+ wins or 8 wins, and you only play 60 games. Because think about it, you missed 20 something games. That means if you played more, probably would have won 35. You know, so I would say 30 just to be safe. I don't think 35 because I really don't wish this on him, knock on wood, but I do think he's gonna miss some games. Just off the Spurs, even doing load management for stuff. You know, he's gonna miss some games. Maybe they'll help him get to 65 because they know the rookie of the year and all rookie stuff. But I do think he's gonna load manage some games. So I'll say 30 to 35 wins, but I don't see anything over 35.
I'm not so I'm in the boat of I think he's generational defensively. I think just him being his height, length, all that, he has to be like it is what it is. I don't think he's generational offensively though. I don't see that. I see good for a big man, not generationally. As far as his skill set, it could be better. Maybe we'll see. And his size as far as dealing with injuries, like you said, that scares me a lot. So with that being said, if he's not going to play a lot of games and he doesn't bulk up and get to a point where people are banging at his knees, because people are going to be banging at his knees because he's so tall, just trying to get up in him. Even Draymond said, I'm going to try to get up in him and all that. So I got to see with his health, how he develops as far as his size and all. But I see if he does stay healthy, I do think he's a all-NBA type player. I think he could possibly be an MVP, maybe even 2-time MVP. If you're a healthy guy at that size, can score buckets and all, and be generational defensively, you have to be an MVP type player. Do I think he'll ever be like clear-cut best player in the league where we're like, man, this guy is the dude and it's running through him? I don't know.
Yeah, like the thing too, man, I know this is probably like a cuss word amongst fans nowadays because we live in a microwave society where everybody wants things instant. You know, it's being patient with the kid because if he don't come out and give you, 30, 15, and 5 off the jump, then everybody's trying to kill him. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna really be about patience because we're not expecting to win a championship this year. So you have no choice but to be patient, right? I'm with you. The defense, you can definitely see it. His length, the way he can move, so you can see some perimeter defense in a great perimeter defense somewhere in there. As far as offense, I think a lot of people are kind of banking on the fact that he can handle the way he handles the ball at that size and the way he moves on offense at that size. So I think that's why a lot of people are hanging their hats on that part. I don't know if he's going to be generational. You've been hearing me say this a million times. I need to see it first as far as the offense. Defense, I think he's going to be good. I think, like Young Mustard said, man, I think he can come in here and be a immediate impact this year.
I think DPOY this year wouldn't be a surprise to me.
Like he said, Evan Mobley, like he said last year, his rookie year, he was in the conversation. Like he could have got it his rookie year, and in this year, he could have won it this year, right? So I can see it. I could definitely see it, man. Like it's not far. Like if it was to happen, I'm not like, whoa, what's this? I can see it. I think a lot of people see it.
I think that's the worst case scenario, by the way. I think his worst case scenario is be a Depoy caliber player. Like, I think that's his worst case scenario. Like, if all else fails, I'm trying to think. Obviously, I think offensively he could be better because he can create more. But like, if all else fails, I can see him being like Gobert. If all else fails,
I think he'll be better. Health
be
wise,
better though. He'll be better because offensively he's better. Offensively,
he's already better.
But I'm just thinking of somebody that like seen as like a great defensive, like generational defensive player.
I don't even have to see him. That's the difference. Like, I really don't have to see Wemby play. I already know he's going to be one of the greatest defenders of all time. That's how I feel. If he has the chance to play and stay in the league, I can see him averaging 3 blocks this year, like easy, getting 3 blocks a game easily this year. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he competed for 4 blocks a game, depending on how many minutes he plays, as far as just getting blocks. So I think from the gate, day one, he has a chance to compete, if not win, Defensive Player of the Year. Especially if they win like 35 games or whatever, like that, like we saying or whatever, and they make that turnaround, and it's because of him and his defense. Like, I think they could do that, and they don't have a bunch of players around him, like we said, so they have to play defense. Pop probably is going to try that to keep games lower as far as the score,
keep the possessions down.
Yep, that's what I think they're probably going to try to run. So I think he can compete for DPOY this year.
Yeah, I agree, man. Let me see. There was something else I was going to add. Oh, I guess we can turn the page to some Mavs stuff here. We know that the FIBA basketball is going on right now. Well, we just found out that Luka's not playing today. That kind of hurts. Which I'm not surprised by that. Let me just get your opinion, Mustard, man. Like, what have you seen from Luka this offseason compared to during the season? I know a lot of the conversation was due to his weight. So what have you seen?
I haven't been watching too much FIBA. I'll see like some highlights here and there. I mean, I know Luka. Look, I'm a big Luka fan. I think Luka's going to become the best player in the league one day. Like I have nothing but love for Luka.
Let's end the show. We doing right there.
But I mean, I wish I could end it right then and there. Luka does have things he needs to fix, and
what? Hold on, Mustard. Be careful because we got people. When we say this, they gonna kill you.
It's the truth.
You're right, and you're right.
For one, his body is one thing. He looks in better shape now. When I've seen like some, from what I've seen, you never know. Things could be fake. But from what I've seen, he looks in better shape. His workout videos, his playing, all of that, he looks better. But honestly, he can get in the most shape that he wants to be in. 2 things I think need to change for Luka. One, him being this heliocentric offense that the Mavericks run. Even when him and Kyrie are on the court, it's heliocentric as hell. Luka needs to get better at that. Luka needs to become more of an off-ball player, an off-ball threat. And there's a chance he may never be that great as an off-ball player, or he may never want to do it, because that's something I think many people kind of brush off. Whenever you're having the success of putting up the numbers you're putting up, some players like it. Some players don't want to change from that. James Harden, one of the reasons why he wanted to go to Brooklyn wasn't just because Kyrie and KD were there. People forget Mike D'Antoni was there. And he knows D'Antoni is going to encourage Steve Nash to allow him to play the offense that he wants to play in. Because even when Harden was a point guard in Brooklyn, he was still very ball dominant. He was still dominating the ball, controlling the offense. Of course, his scoring went down, his shot attempts went down, but just go watch the games, And I think Luka, kind of the same thing applies where, or you could argue where he doesn't want to give the ball up, because when he's off the ball, he doesn't move. He just stands there. And I think that is something, if I'm the Mavs, I'm going to literally pull him aside, show him the tape of that and be like, we cannot allow this anymore. You are too great of an offensive player to just stand around when you don't have the ball, Like, for example, if you want to do that, go look at how being off ball has affected Russell Westbrook. Go look at how not being off ball has affected even Harden in some of these playoff games. You have to be able to move without the ball, whether it's coming off screens, pin downs, or you cutting something. Like, for example, look at Dwayne Wade and LeBron James. when they team together, especially Wade. Wade understood because I'm the worst playmaker among the two. I got to be the one to take that back seat a little bit more and learn how to do stuff without the ball, whether it's cutting, coming off screen, something. And I think Luka needs to do that as well. And I think that's something that I hope he fixes. Now, defensively, that sucks. Luka is just, I don't think he'll ever be a great defender. I think I've just accepted that. I think at best he can be decent and solid, maybe like a slight positive. But what he was last year wasn't even like that. He was bad. He was damn near liability. You could even argue liability because he didn't try. Didn't show any.
What was that T word you used?
You said what?
What was that T word you used? You said
try.
What?
Yeah, he didn't try. And I think that's something that he has to do. And to be fair, like there was a point I think like the year before where I thought Luka was like kind of decent at times. I thought he actually put in some effort.
He was.
Like he was like a somewhat slight positive at times. So I know he can do it. I know he can. Now, obviously, does it take a lot from his offensive game if he tries 100,000%? To a degree, it can. We've seen some of the best offensive players get worse when they put in effort defensively. But at the end of the day, though, look at your team. Y'all don't have a legitimate rim protector. Maybe Derek Lively will go into that. Who knows? But y'all don't.
Whoa. Hold on. We got Dwight Powell, man.
Dwight Powell, man. Community service #1.
I mean, Powell is actually not horrible. He's just not good. He's just not good. I said he's not good. So, like he could be a decent backup, for some teams. Just because y'all don't have a legitimate like. What'd you say?
Number 3.
I mean, yeah, third string. That's
He'd
fine.
be a third string. That's fine. What he probably.
He should be getting more than like 15 minutes a game. And like that's even kind of generous.
10 minutes.
But my point, honestly, y'all don't have a legitimate like rim protector back there. Y'all just don't. Christian Wood is not getting it done. I think Christian Wood. There's a reason right now. I'm letting people know. There's a reason he's looking for a job right now. But regardless, Luka, knowing your situation, knowing y'all lack in certain areas defensively, that should motivate you more to put in that effort. And I just really hope Luka like takes this advice. Maybe it's not for me. Obviously, maybe he may never hear anything I say. But other people, I'm sure he's around ball knowers in that Mavs organization that watch film, watch tape. They should be able to talk to him about this. And if they can't, then I mean, we may see like that ceiling I want for Luka. Maybe he'll never reach it, honestly, because these are things that he has to incorporate into his game to some degree, So, and it's unfair that we criticize James Harden for that, and I don't think enough people are really getting on Luka. People got on him last year when they missed the playoffs, but like going forward, like he needs to have that same level of slander. The only reason though that I understand why it's a little different when they're like. It's because in the playoffs, Luka plays.
Why?
There you go. You go.
I mean, yeah, but even when Harden played well, people still slandered him.
James Harden barely played well. 1, but 2 in the playoffs.
True. He had some
in the playoffs, man. But in big situations, James Harden. But in 2, James Harden. It's not like he hasn't gotten close. It's because of him that it failed. Like James Harden,
that's not fair.
If we're winning, if they'd have won against Golden State and he went and won a championship, we're not having this conversation anymore. James Harden is just one of the greatest of all time. It just is what it is. Like,
don't you think that's a little unfair? Because, like, look, my thing with Harden, okay, I think Harden is a choker. I do. In the big moments, I think he's a choker. But I don't think Harden is a folder or at least a choker in a way of like he just gonna go into the playoffs every year and you just know for the whole playoffs he's gonna be bad. I don't think it's like that. I think Harden in big moments chokes. Like, for example, game 7s, elimination games, closeout games. That's when Harden is like a choker. But like going into the playoffs, like whole series, he's just bad. I don't think that's James Harden.
But Mustard, you have to close it out, right?
That's Westbrook, by the way.
But you have to. That's a whole different shot. But you have to.
Are you a Westbrook guy?
No.
Shots. Okay.
You had to play a shot. But
There, he got
as
top of
far
that
as James Harden, though, every playoff series you have to close it out, right? You have to win 4 games or whatever. So if he can't win the 4th game,
I mean, he's had good series though. Like y'all act like he hasn't had good series.
Give me the series where he was like under pressure, and you like, come on, James Harden, and see even like
Under pressure.
Yeah, and you're like,
I'm
all
not
right,
gonna
James
lie,
Harden, come
that I don't know, but like
it doesn't happen.
I'm trying to think. I think there has to be one. Hold on,
James Harden, I think averages. I think James Harden averages 7 points in game 7s.
Yeah, he scored like 6 in this last game. In this game 7,
I think he
averages 7 points.
I think he averages like 7 points in games.
That's not true. There's no way. There's no way it's 7 points.
Hey man,
that can't be possible. 7 points.
I don't know about the average, but I know in his past year with Philly, I think he only scored like 6 points.
It's something ridiculous. I'm telling you that he scores in game 7. So that's what I'm saying. If James Harden, even in game 6, if they'd have beat Golden State, if he would have won that series and then won a championship, we're not talking about that heliocentric offense, because truthfully, LeBron has a heliocentric offense. It's his offense, and he just
LeBron, and I say this, I'm just gonna be honest. I think LeBron, for one, obviously is a better player, and I also think LeBron, being at 6'9", 6'10", like you can dominate the game in ways that like other players can't. And I always use that argument for like Steph. Right. Steph Curry, when people say, why can't Steph Curry go out there and make it to the playoffs like Harden and LeBron, which, by the way, he would have done that if they didn't have that play-in stuff now. He would have done that in 21. But like the reason I think it's harder for him to like control a game the way Harden and LeBron do is because he's smaller. You know, like LeBron, even Harden, like compare Harden to Steph. Harden's actually bulky. You know, he's big and he can plow through. Control the game in ways that Steph can't. Look, now then throw in LeBron. LeBron can control the game in ways that like Harden and like Steph couldn't. So I think that's that. And LeBron, it's LeBron.
Harden manipulates the game. So I think that we can get to it. It's not even a debate. I don't think if we're saying it. We know that James Harden does choke. It's just that he manipulates the game as far as the fouls and all that stuff. He has more free throws than field goals. We know that kind of stuff. Luka has more of a skill. I feel like Luka dominates the game more like a LeBron than a James Harden. James Harden, when it gets to the playoff time, we know that the game, like it gets tighter. The refs don't call the same things, all that kind of thing. So Luka can get into the mid-range package and just go off on you like he did against the Clippers. He can get to the rim and just score as one of the most efficient guys in the NBA, getting to the rim and just finishing. Like they don't give him credit for that. And then he shoots almost as efficiently as James Harden does from the 3, and that's probably going to get even better. So his knock is his free throws for me as far as the offensive thing. I think his ceiling for Luka, if he gets all that together, I think Luka Dončić can be the greatest offensive player of all time. And I only say that because I'm a fan. From what I see, I think he can be that because it's so easy for him. So I think it's just about getting the right pieces.
You said the greatest offensive player of all time?
Offensive player of all time, I think. I think
the
way they talk about,
I don't know about that one.
The guy, he's one of the greatest finishers at the rim I've ever seen.
Okay.
He's in the league right now. He's one of the best mid-range guys in the league right now.
I mean, I wouldn't put him in my top 5. I don't think I'd put him in my top 5. Definitely not top 3 because I take DeMar, DeMar, Kyrie, KD, D-Book. I think I'm taking all 4 of them as mid-range shooters over Luka.
I don't think they're better shooters than Luka. If you go percentage-wise, I know people don't think about his game as far as breaking it down, but like
that's what I'm about to say.
He's efficiently in everything he does. His 3-point shot brings him down. He shoots. So James Harden best year, I think, shot 45, 46% from the field overall. Luka shot 50% from the field this year and shot like 35, 34 from the 3-point line. Like Luka Dončić is an efficient machine as far as scoring. He's unstoppable, I think, just in general. Whenever you go ahead, Ralph.
No, I was gonna say because I think the reason why you don't have him up there is because you don't, like you just said, you don't think of him as a mid-range guy. It's because he can do everything on the court. A lot of those guys you just named off, they do more of their eating from the mid-range game. So that's why you kind of say like, "Oh no, I put them in the mid-range," you know. But to kind of go back to what you said about the Luka thing, listen, you're a gajillion% right, right? That's why I'm trying to tell you, be careful what you say, because when me and King said this, we got killed. And we are the biggest Mavs fans around, right? I can show you all the Luka jerseys and shoes I got of his, right? I love Luka, right? But when you say those types of things about him, man, people think, oh, you're hating on him, you don't like him. It's like, no, I'm saying that because I know he can take that next level and he can be that good. If he just picks those one things, I'm not saying he's trash. You never heard me say that. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying that, it's some certain things that he needs to work on. And if he works on that, bam, he's there. And like you said, one of the things is defense. You said, why I asked you, what was that word you said? You said try, effort. These are things that we've been saying. We've seen it before. We've seen it, like you said, the year before last. Dallas had a top 10 defense. They were top 7 in the league in defense at the end of the year. And why was that? Because one of the reasons why, because Luka finally bought into the defensive side.
Yep.
And so when you said this past season, he was looking like a cone out there on defense, what happened to our defense as a team? We were trash, right?
Trash.
Now I know that it's not all on him. I know that. I would say, but part of that is the reason why we were that bad, because Luka didn't try on defense. It was a lot of crying to the refs on the other end while your guy going down scoring a layup and all that type of stuff, right? So, we say this type of stuff, man. We want Luka to be the best version that he can be, because we know he can be successful when he does that. And so, we talk about the, getting into shape, working on the defense. King said the free throws. I don't know the answer for the free throws. I don't know if that's a mental thing or
that is crazy. I don't know why he's such a poor free throw.
I don't know why. And it's like it's crazy because like this happened like 2 years in a row. Matter of fact, shout out to Greg's Court. He said this. He said, man, he made those first 5 free throws in that game, in a FIBA game, and then all of a sudden after that he missed like 6 in a row. He's like, I don't know what it is, man. Like I said, I don't know if it's a mental thing or what it is, man. But I'm hoping that he can kind of get that fixed. I'm not putting King's house on it or nothing that he gonna get it fixed or anything. But it'd be nice if he shot at least 80%. That's what we've been asking. Just at least 80%.
You need to take a step back.
Maybe he need to do the Van Axel, man, and step back a little bit. I don't know.
Step back when he shoots it. That's what he should do. I'm serious.
Yeah,
make it more difficult.
Yeah, because like I don't know. Maybe he needs to work on the form or what it is. I don't know. His form don't look that bad when he shoots the free throws though.
Nah,
but
he
I don't
shoots
know what it could be.
Luka shoots with a fling, man. So he shoots his free throws with a fling as well. It's like a.
I think it's just a mental thing, honestly, because like
maybe it's what it is.
Yeah, there are some great shooters also that like are not great free throw shooters. Like Joe Harris. Like Joe Harris is a great 3-point shooter, but his free throw percentage is like I think mid-70s. Some guys,
Bruce Bowen.
Yeah. So no, like some guys are just Bruce Bowen was never. He became a solid 3-point shooter.
Yeah,
he became a solid 3-point shooter. But yeah, that's weird. I like some guys just I don't know. Like because when I'm looking at shooters, I always think the number one metric is free throw shooting right there to like determine that. Like even if like someone's coming into the league, I look at their free throw shooting. I'm like, okay, if they're a decent free throw shooter, then they can grow into like a really good 3-point shooter. But like when you're a great 3-point shooter or a good 3-point shooter or even decent, and then you can't make free throws, I'm like, I don't understand it, But
he makes difficult 3-pointers, like ridiculously stupid, difficult 3-pointers, and can't
like
make
that Clippers series. A big reason y'all lost is because Luka can't make free throws.
The free throws.
I'm talking the second time, the one where he shot like 40-something%. That was insane. I couldn't even believe it.
And his free throw dropped in the playoffs, man. That's
like how I feel. Mustard. He would.
I'll go ahead,
bro. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Okay, I was gonna say he would have even more points in the playoffs. He would do even more if he made free throws. That's the difference between him and James Harden. And I think he's a better passer than James Harden. I think James Harden is an amazing passer. I'm not saying that, but I think Luka Dončić is one of the greatest passers of all time.
To be fair, I do think Harden is a better playmaker, though. The reason I say that is because Harden, and it's more so the personnel they've had. Harden has had opportunities to play with like bigs that he can use as like a roll man and just affect the game like that. Because Harden's one of the best pick and roll players in the league. Luka can be, and he has been at times, but he's never had like a real roller or like screener for him. Christian Wood.
Hold on now.
Sucks.
You keep forgetting about the white power,
White
man.
Power,
The
white power.
Hall of Famer, dog. I'm trying to tell you.
No, real talk. He got the white power, though. The white power is the number one offensive rating of all time.
Y'all got to stop.
I'm saying he has the number one offensive rating of all time, Mustard.
Stop, man.
And hold on. No, real talk. The number one offensive rating of all time is Mustard.
White power is trash.
I'm just saying, but I'm saying there's a reason. There is a reason he has the number one offensive rating of all time. Because of Luka Dončić. Also, Luka.
Does he actually have the number one offensive rating?
Bro, listen.
Yes.
Are y'all joking? I would not be mad if you didn't believe that, bro. I'm sitting there like, bro.
That's why everybody loves him, because he has the number. He sets screens and has the number one offensive rating of all time.
What about Maxi Kleber? Y'all
don't say everybody
big. Maxi Kleber.
But Maxi shouldn't be a big like a center. The thing is, we overuse him at the wrong position, so he gets banged up.
Honestly, Maxi Kleber really plays like a small forward in like a center body. It's actually kind of weird. But it's all good.
But I just think Luka, as far as he's had the number one offense of all time as well. Like with these guys and KP being
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Those fake offensive stats don't move you. Let's be serious.
It wasn't. It was number one for a reason.
I mean, the offensive record, the offensive, what is it? Offensive rating record gets broken like almost every year. I think the way you really should evaluate is make it relative to like the average, and then let's see like how great it is. Now, to be fair, the Seth Curry offense with Luka and KP, those were some great offensive. No, those are amazing offensive years. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think that anybody's gonna tell you that's a top 5 offensive team of all time.
But that's because they didn't finish it off.
Nah, you're not gonna say King. Is that top?
Hold on. I'm not gonna say that, but I'm just saying if the offense would have made a run to like the Western Conference Finals or something like that, then
I mean, unfortunately, Luka doesn't like to pass the ball to Kristaps Porzingis. So.
No, that had nothing. Jeez, I wonder why. Come on, man. It had everything to do with KP not being.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. And look, I love Luka, so let me preference by saying I love Luka, but there should be blame on both sides for why it didn't work out with KP. Luka should get blamed. Yes, I love Luka, but he should get blamed.
I gotta hear this.
There were times. Go look at Porzingis now in Washington. Go look at how they cater to his strengths a little bit more. And granted, to be fair, KP, not Luka, I meant KP. KP, to be fair, has limitations. I understand that. You know, he doesn't have that core.
As long as you pointed that out, we about to get on that.
But if you're Luka, I'm sorry. This whole heliocentric offense of KP, just go sit in the corner. That's unacceptable. That's
wasn't
not
Luka.
cool.
Mustard. That wasn't Luka though. That
wasn't
KP.
Luka.
We hold on, no Mustard.
It was Carlisle, right? It was Carlisle.
We literally fed KP the ball in the post all the time. Gave him what he wanted to do, and he was one of the least efficient guys in the league.
So why didn't Luka? Why not run 2-man game with Luka and KP?
They did, but then KP didn't want to play. Hold on. But then KP didn't want to play the 5. So he couldn't play the pick and roll with him the way he wanted to play. And then Dwight Powell was able to get pick and roll numbers. Like, yeah, it is Luka as far as being a leader, having to get that together. But KP was on a different level. Like, people don't, from the outside looking in, don't understand. KP really was trash. Like, KP let us down.
Trash. Come on.
KP couldn't win a game without Luka. Like, every time Luka wasn't there.
Nobody thinks KP's like that, though. Nobody thinks KP's like that.
But he's in Washington now, and everybody glorifies the numbers, but he's getting better, I guess, efficiency. Like he didn't have a great season. He didn't make the All-Star game. He wasn't All-NBA, and the Wizards with those 3 max players didn't get close to the playoffs. So it ain't like what was so great. It wasn't pressure situations he was in. When he got into pressure with Luka Dončić, he folded, which he seems to always fold when he's under pressure. That's why I want him to be in Boston right now, because I think that Boston situation is going to fail. But that's just my personal opinion. But we'll see where he is when the bright lights is on him again. Like, I think that's the problem.
That's crazy.
And matter of fact, and matter of fact, they just came up with an article that had to also reconfirm that he's not hurt again. Sounds familiar.
Who, Porzingis?
Yeah, Porzingis.
Availability wasn't there either. I mean, we kept trying to play him and all. He would every other game when he would get hot.
Well, matter of fact, health. I agree. Health is that's on KP, but that's just the game. Honestly, he's just like it's injury prone. But KP, look, let me just say this. I'm sorry, Real, but let me just say this real quick about Porzingis, because like it's a lot of things you said, King, and I agree with some of the things you said, but I still do think like for the 2-man game, they could have used that way more. They did not use that enough.
That's not familiar, but go ahead.
People act like Porzingis is not a good passer. He's a decent passer in those 2-man situations. He can't be used like that. Secondly, as far as like the PNR and as far as I just heard what he said, as far as like the PNR and things like that, like you can use him in PNR and PN pops, like he could be a fade guy, all that. But like the problem with Luka is that he doesn't like that. Luka right now, likes whenever they ever bring up a screen or anything like that, he's not even thinking about the roller. He's looking at who's defending me, who's going to hedge me, who's going to be at the rim. Because he's even said it himself. Yes. He's like, when they set a screen for me, I'm not even thinking about my man anymore. I'm thinking about who's in front of me. You know, he doesn't care about the rollers like that. I think when Luka's at his best in the PNR, is usually whenever someone's cutting from the help, like the backside, and he can find them off a lob or something like that, or he'll find that person open in the corner, which is why they always be putting KP on the perimeter because they love Luka loves to pass it to those shooters in those situations,
and because KP is a very, very bad post player, bro.
But
He
that
shoots
corner,
like 30% on post.
He's not a
bro.
He's not bad this year, Mustard. He wasn't bad.
He was good
with us. Go look. You can look at the numbers, Mustard. This dude was shooting like 30%, bro, on post ups.
No, 30%. This year he was good, bro.
He was all right.
But how do you expect to get in a rhythm when you're consistent? For the most part, you're told to just be on the perimeter. It's hard to get in that rhythm.
Mustard, you thinking about? So I think everybody's last image is that Clippers series. Like we didn't understand why they played him that way.
Okay, but that was an abnormally bad series for Porzingis.
But I mean, even they put him on the perimeter.
We're talking about the way you said it. They were using
Carlisle put him on the perimeter and just had him on the perimeter for that series at that point because they lost.
He was talking. And Rick Carlisle talked about that.
Do y'all think that was Porzingis' fault, like being on the perimeter that much?
Yes, because during the season, I'm telling you, Mustard. During the season, we would literally like how you try to get your big guy involved by going to him first and going off and like getting yourself. We would stop our game. Luka would give the ball to Porzingis in the post because that's what he said. He would say himself, "That's what I want. That's my game. That's what I'm awesome at." He'd be defended by guys like
there was a foot smaller than him,
Chris Paul or something like that up underneath him. He'd do a little quick turnaround, shoot, and brick over and over, and was shooting like 30-something%. So by the time we got to the playoffs, his numbers of like 20 and 8 was like skewed. We knew it wasn't going to help us out. We were having to force feed him to change our offense. Our offense got worse when we stopped the game and went to Porzingis. Then when we were running and Porzingis was out, just being on the perimeter. Go ahead, bro.
Two things, man. If you look at how our offense flowed after Porzingis left, you know the difference between the offenses.
After we traded him, we got Dinwiddie.
Luka actually started giving the ball to Jalen Brunson. He actually started letting Jalen Brunson score. I know.
He believed in Jalen Brunson. He didn't.
Luka stopped ball hogging. I know. He started.
He didn't stop ball. Even the same guy. He
let Spencer Dinwiddie get the ball. I get it. I know. You feel me? Look. I'm a Luka guy, but I'm not gonna act like Luka. Don't be ball hogging. Like let's be serious. Let's be serious.
Look, did Jordan ball hog?
Jordan early in his career, yes. Now, when I say ball hog, look, I don't mean like niggas. My bad. I didn't mean to say that. People are gonna take what I'm saying. Like I'm saying Jordan. Not even just Jordan, but like Luka's just like I'm not giving my teammates the ball. No, I just think like Luka. He likes a style of play where he controls everything on the offense. And some of that also goes into the fact that he just may not trust his teammates. That's why I like Kyrie on the team. Hopefully that changes. But before, in the past, I don't think because also don't forget, him and Porzingis didn't like each other. That was also reported as well. Because that trust wasn't there between him and Porzingis. It was actually there the first time. Remember when they were playing in the bubble, like that 2020 year? They were good.
You remember.
Then I don't know what happened. Maybe you guys know more than I do because y'all are Mavs fans. Maybe there was something reported between the two, but something happened.
Injuries.
And it was just not the same anymore.
Yeah,
he's not giving him the ball.
Yeah, go back to Porzingis' interview he had. Man, I can't remember which podcast he was on. He talked about all this. He talked about the fact that he just couldn't stay healthy. And a lot of that had to do with, you know how it is in the NBA, man. Like we just said with KD. KD can't do a lot of things that he used to. Why? Because he had that major injury. And this dude had injury on both his legs and stuff, man. So it's like it's hard for him to be that athletic. Matter of fact, it's hard for him to be the first 2 or 3 years in New York KP right now.
Yeah.
Because of those injuries.
He was actually going to be way better if it was that ACL.
And that's why we gave up what we gave up, because we thought he was going to, get healthy and finally be that KP that everybody kind of thought he was projected to be. You know what I'm saying? But he never got there. Go ahead, King.
You remember when he was the unicorn, when he was actually a guy that did special stuff that nobody else could do. Now he's just okay for a big guy at a bunch of stuff. And he used to be as well. He used to be generational as far as what we thought defensively.
A poor man Wembanyama.
Yeah, like we thought he was going to be generational defensively or whatever like that. And then that ACL tear and all he was never like a defensive juggernaut for us. Christian Wood had a better stretch of like defending the rim as a starter for us than KP ever had. So that tells you as far as Christian Wood, we know about his defense and all that. So he was out there getting smoked no matter what. Go ahead, Ralph.
You know how bad it was? We end up starting Boban.
Yep. At the center because we couldn't. And Boban.
Boban, he gave him in the paint. He'll get you a nice little bucket here and there, bro.
He ain't defending nobody though, Mustard.
Yeah, he ain't.
I know. Defensively, he's just the cone.
Like, yeah, literally.
Shout out to John Wick 3.
Look, Porzingis, look, I'm just gonna be honest. Maybe it was just right move, wrong timing. Honestly, it might have just been bad luck. I don't think they should have gave up on them as early as they did. But like I understand why, because the contract it looked bad at the time. But right now that contract, well, then I think he got an extension. But right now that contract, I think
he got an extension.
If you got him with Brunson and Luka, I definitely think that would have been solid. Especially, and honestly,
you talking about the Brunson from last year or year before last, or whatever? Talking about the Brunson, but the year before last when we went to the West Conference.
They traded KP. They went to the conference finals.
So KP at number 3.
Yeah, KP's a number 3.
Okay.
Okay. I think he was
Brunson. You think he's the number 2 over Brunson? Is that what you thought?
I thought you were going to say, yeah, he's number 2 over Brunson. I'm like, okay. So you agree?
Brunson? I thought you were going to say 1B. They're going to say 1B.
So Brunson's better than KP at this point.
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure. I just
Brunson. Hey, I actually really like Jalen Brunson. I think Jalen Brunson.
So you saying we should have kept him?
Y'all should have kept him. Yes.
People
heard it.
People crucified us when we said, pay him that $25 million or whatever. It's like, no, that's too much money. We just gave KP all that money. They crucified us. So
y'all folded. Y'all should have paid him before when y'all had the chance.
I
understand why he left.
Say that again, young Mustard. You said we should have did what now?
You said what?
You said we should have did what now?
Y'all should have paid him when y'all had the chance to pay him.
Interesting. Shout out to Donnie Nelson, according to Larry. But
you know it's crazy because I actually think
I got his autograph in my head.
I understand why he left. And I would have left too. And that's not to disrespect y'all as Mavs fans or
no.
The city of Dallas. I love Dallas. But if you're going from being the number 2 to Luka in Dallas, a situation you may really never win a championship, or going to New York, where you may not win a championship, but you're living in New York. You're the guy in New York. And I think his dad is the assistant coach. I'll take that deal any day. Any day. Now, granted, I don't want to play with Julius Randle. I'd want him off the team.
Oh,
that is a big L. But at least in the regular
season, we didn't say it, Freezy. He said it. We didn't say it.
No, I don't like Julius Randle. I think Julius Randle. He has the worst shots selection I've ever seen in the league. Like it's so annoying to watch. It's like at least come playoffs, regular season. When I see him do it in the regular season, I'm like, man, this is the fakest shit I ever seen. Then like the playoffs come, and I just know every game. Every play, I know what's going to happen with him.
You said James Harden?
Come on, let's not do that. James Harden is not that bad in the play.
Man, James Harden. You remember that game 6 against the San Antonio Spurs?
I know that was bad. That was really bad. Yeah.
That's just the one that's really bad. He got so many of those.
That's his worst playoff game. Though. That is his worst.
He disappeared in the finals, and we gave him an excuse because he was young. Remember?
Oh, 6. Yeah, he was 6 man. Yeah,
you remember that? He disappeared in the finals. He was supposed to get better than that, but it was an early sign, is all I'm saying.
Wait, do you not like James Harden, King?
I'm not a big. I don't think James Harden plays the game to win championships, and I don't even know if that's true. I'm not trying to be in the guy's ear or whatever. I think he wants to start him. I think he's a rock star.
Okay, I have a question.
I think
King.
That's what James Harden is.
I have a question, King. You know who Allen Iverson is, right?
Yes.
Who you think is better between James Harden and Allen Iverson?
I think Allen Iverson is better than James Harden.
You think Allen Iverson is better than James Harden?
I think Allen Iverson is better than James.
So Harden. Do you think Allen Iverson plays the game the way it's supposed to be played?
Yes.
Oh no. Allen Iverson does not play the game the way it's supposed to be played.
Why didn't he? He's 5'11" or whatever.
Actually, hold on. Let me not even say that because you're the one who initially said James Harden doesn't play the game the way it's supposed to be played. I'm thinking
no. I didn't say he plays. I didn't say that. I said he manipulates the game. I didn't say he plays the game. He decides he can play the game however he wishes to play. I don't have a problem with how he plays the game. I've just seen the results that him manipulating the game doesn't work for him in the playoffs. So if that doesn't work,
also apply to Allen Iverson?
No, Allen Iverson went to the finals and got a game off of one of the greatest teams of all. The team I think is the greatest team of all time. Actually, the team I really think is the greatest team of all time. One game off.
First of all, you're wrong
right,
about that. But secondly, even if you think that, so Allen Iverson, because of his 1 year, because everybody loves the 2001 Allen Iverson.
That's all he needed.
They act like that all the other years of his career.
Young.
That's all he needed. Was that 1 year.
No, I said he was a beast.
Yep.
Oh, No,
And I
2001.
also saw Allen Iverson that year go head to head with Vince Carter, and I was showing him.
yes, Vince Carter on that.
The next Jordan
hold
at that
on.
point.
I'm about to break
Okay,
because
go
I
ahead.
think
Go
Allen
ahead.
Iverson,
Oh man,
he can be overrated too. Allen Iverson, in my opinion, is one of the greatest players ever. Top 10 shooting guard of all time, arguably top 5. You feel me? I have no problem if you want to put him in your top 5 shooting guards. If he's 5, that's an acceptable spot. That's all I can go with him. But Allen Iverson, for one, is not better than James Harden. 2, Allen Iverson, you talk about this 2001 run. Great run. We're talking about him going in one of the worst Eastern conferences, forget East. One of the worst conferences of all time. I don't even understand why, because yes, he got a game. I get it. He got a game. He got one game off the Lakers.
did Tim Duncan get a game? Did Tim Duncan get a game?
I understand.
No, Tim Duncan didn't get a game.
No, he didn't get a game. No. No, he didn't get a game.
Players that didn't get a, Allen Iverson got a game at 5'11" or 5'10", whatever you want to call it.
But like, I'm not gonna overvalue one game. So what about 02?
He got there. He also had to beat
04?
He had to beat that Milwaukee. Hold up. So I think Allen Iverson. So I don't think Allen Iverson is a top. He's not a top 5 shooting guard in my opinion. I'm not. I don't want you to think I think he's this greatest guy.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm saying is that the heart matters. He has the intangible. He has more of it.
I was just about to ask how many moments did you see that Iverson had that was like James Harden?
Yeah, like it can be guys that are more skillful than guys. I think KD's more skillful than Dirk. I think Dirk ended up having more it than KD. Mm-hmm. So that's why my one championship with Dirk outweighs the 2 that Kevin Durant.
Yeah, you're a Mavs fan though, but yeah.
But but a lot of people have that opinion as far as it, like the KD championship. So I just feel like it's a lot of players that don't have it, and that changes them. Like a Paul George. Paul George is one of the most talented guys in the NBA. He doesn't really have it.
To be fair, I don't think Paul George ever would have been a number 1 guy.
And that's because he doesn't have it. That's probably why Scottie Pippen wasn't number 1 guy, because he didn't have it. Like
I think Scottie could have been a number 1 guy. That's my opinion. I think he could have.
I do too. I agree with you.
I just think that whenever he had the chance to be a number 1, he did fold, but like it was a year. It was like a year or 2. He didn't really have that long of a time to do that.
I don't count Portland. By Portland, people.
Oh no, I wasn't talking about that. He wasn't even. I was talking about that 95 year.
Between, right? I got you. Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Other than that, he never really, or was it 94? 94. 94.
94, and 94 was the better
came back 95, right?
Yeah, Jordan came back in 95.
When he was second place in MVP or whatever. That was,
he lost to the Knicks. You know, like
7. Yeah.
But as far as what were you saying? Harden and Iverson. Look, Iverson, man. My problem with Allen Iverson is that everybody just acts like one game should define everything of his career. I'm sorry, I can't do that. Just like how if you're talking about James Harden being a folder, would you just reference the game against San Antonio? No, you reference 2 of 13 from 3 against the Warriors, or 13 turnovers against the Warriors, or like just what happened just now against Boston in Philly. There's other things you can reference. With Iverson, it just seems like anytime people reference his greatness, it's always 2001. It's always that one game against the Lakers. And granted, that whole playoff run, he was good, great, elite. But I'm sorry, against that level of competition, if you put James Harden in that East, he's making the finals.
No, he's not. He's chokes.
He's choked.
He does what he did in Game 6 against San Antonio with none of their players on the floor.
That's one game. That's one game.
He did it when he needed him to make James
Harden go to a conference final.
When he needed to make threes against the Golden State Warriors, and he couldn't make one
Warriors.
Three,
Golden State Warriors.
You are James Harden. You can't shrink.
So unfair. Allen Iverson would have lost like James Harden.
James Harden has to at least meet what he is in the regular season. He can't at least meet. We never looked at
Allen Iverson doesn't do that. Allen Iverson doesn't do that.
Allen Iverson did. He meant what he was.
Go look at Allen Iverson's regular season numbers, because we both know
Allen Iverson got numbers.
We all know Allen Iverson is one of the most inefficient scorers. Is Allen Iverson not one of the most inefficient volume scorers?
He is, but look. Let me ask you this one question about it, Mustard. If he was 6'5", would he be better than James
He's
Harden?
Not 6'5".
All right, that's fine. I'm asking you the question. We going off a scale then. If he was 6'5", would he be better than James Harden? But
I'm sorry.
if he was 6'5",
I'm sorry. I live in
James
reality. I'm sorry. I live
Oh,
in
get
reality.
outta
He's
here,
not
man.
6'5". He's
You
6
giving him the
foot.
benefit of the doubt because James Harden
I'm
do
not
more because
giving
of his
him
height.
benefits
And he
of the
still-
doubt.
and he
No,
still
I'm
has
not.
and he
No,
still has not done more.
no.
Even
I'm
with him
not
being
giving him
6'5".
benefits of the doubt for being taller or shorter. I'm sorry, it doesn't work that way. Basketball is a height-based sport. The best players are usually the taller ones. James
You're
Harden is a better player than Allen Iverson. He's a better scorer than Allen Iverson. He's a better passer than Allen Iverson. He's a better decision maker than Allen Iverson. Even James Harden's biggest weakness
Not in the
defensively.
playoffs, Mustard. Not in the
Yes, he is.
playoffs.
Okay,
Hold up. That's why. Hold on, Mustard. This is why Dwayne Wade is better than James Harden.
Okay,
All
Dwayne
that
Wade's
stuff-
better than both.
all that-
Dwayne Wade's
but
better
all-
than both.
That's what I'm
all
about
that-
to ask you,
All
Mustard. I
that
was trying
stuff
to get
you're
that in,
saying,
bro.
though, all that stuff you're saying, James Harden will be better than Dwayne Wade.
No.
He's a better scorer.
No, but
He's a better playmaker.
Wade, for one, in the playoffs actually is better than Harden. Two,
Allen
Wade,
Iverson's better than Harden in the playoffs.
he's not. But Allen Iverson, and no, not just that. Wade defensively was elite
Yes.
defensively, so
Yes.
he has that edge over both of them.
Yes.
So I would give him that. And we saw Wade, even though he was in the weaker East, he made the finals and beat your Mavs. He outplayed your boy.
He did
Dirk.
with a
Oh, why you gotta say it like that,
referee.
man?
With a referee.
Like that,
I
With
mean, I'm just saying
Tim
he
Donaghy
did.
or whatever. He had him on his side too. So
Shaq?
you can throw that in there. No, Tim Donaghy or whatever. The referee.
Oh my
Yeah,
God, y'all are one of those. Oh my.
What do you mean we're not one of those? It really
No,
happened.
y'all gotta stop that narrative that Wade had the refs help him, man.
I don't put an asterisk on
Hey.
it. I don't put an asterisk
I was
on it.
gonna say,
Next
go-
time, tell Dirk to step up.
He
Mark
did.
that.
He
Tell
did in
Dirk to
2011.
not. Tell
He
Dirk
did
to
in
not get out
2011.
rebounded by Shaq.
He did in
Don't do that.
2011. Tell Shaq to not get out rebounded by Erica Dampier.
Hey, 2011. All I know is D Wade averaged 27, 7 and 7 or something in the finals. He played good. It was
And he
LeBron
lost.
that didn't
And he
step
still
up.
took
in
the
that.
L. And Dirk had the flu and all, right? And still got Finals MVP. So
I mean, it's all good. I mean, if LeBron was just doing what Jason Terry was doing for Dirk, then hey,
I mean, Jason Terry gave you 18 a game. That's awesome.
that's
So,
more than what LeBron was giving you
I
in
mean,
that finals.
It is, but I'm just saying, like, Dirk didn't have no other All-Star, nothing, just won a championship. Oh,
No,
he
I'm
swept
not going to
Kobe.
disrespect that
All right,
championship.
swept Kobe.
I'm not going to disrespect that championship. I'm not.
All
Dirk, that's a legitimate championship. But Wade's in 06. I'm sorry.
Wade had one of the greatest runs of all time. I won't. I'm not going to knock
Don't
it.
forget,
Like,
the previous round, he was killing the Pistons.
I'm
with
not gonna-
Ben Wallace. With
I
Ben Wallace.
I go back and forth with the glow yard about that. I will never.
I mean, we know
discredit
Dirk's better. We know
Wade.
Wade's better anyway. So
No. I'm not saying Wade's better than Dirk on all time list.
Oh, man. Come
That's
on, man.
come on, man. Come on. We're not
You
gonna
gotta
discredit.
support.
We're not gonna discredit what Dirk was doing as far as having San Antonio and LA in front of him and still being that third team, with Mark
Oh.
Cuban being his owner and all that
But when
stuff. We're not
Dwayne Wade was in front of him, what happened?
gonna get out of here. He lost. Dwayne, we lost the second time.
Oh, the second time when Wade
Yeah,
was older.
They played. When Wade was Dirk was older. Dirk's older than Wade.
I know he takes advantage of when the opposition is older. I get it.
Oh my
dude, I
goodness.
get it. I
Get
get
out
it.
of here. The last hold on.
He couldn't beat him when he was in his prime and Wade was younger, but he
Here-
had to
here-
beat him when Wade was like 30. I got you.
Here's the magical question for you: who's better, Dirk or Kevin Garnett?
Kevin Garnett.
I knew you was gonna say that.
I just
Yeah,
gonna say that
and
too.
it's crazy because I used to have Dirk higher than KG, but like that, as I've gotten older and I've understood like KG's impact on his teams, I think KG is like I think he's clearly better than Dirk.
You don't think KG is more like Anthony Davis?
No. I see the similarities though. I see the similarities,
And
but
Dirk
I do
more like
think
KD?
KG, huh?
And Dirk's more like KD.
I don't want to say Dirk's like KD. KD and Dirk have similarities with like their post scoring and their mid range shooting, but I think for one, you could argue Dirk's a better mid range shooter, and KD like has more of a handle. He can create off the dribble more than Dirk. You can use him in more versatile ways. And KD and Dirk, Dirk also has more physicality to his game than KD does. But as far as KG, I think KG, people forget the things that KG could do in his era and why, like how effective he was and just how bad those teams were around him.
Mhm.
He did a lot to push that power forward position. I think the most influential power forwards ever are KG and Dirk. They pushed the position in ways that we didn't see at the time, other than like maybe Charles Barkley. I guess we could give Barkley that edge too. But like KG's handle, his post game, his mid range shot. He could run it like he could run the fast break and make decisions there. He was also like one of the most switchable defenders ever. Could literally guard 1 through 5. Wasn't elite at guarding point guards, but he was really good. He could keep up with that. Great lateral quickness, great lateral ability. And then he's a great rim protector. He transitioned into being a great elite rim protector in Boston.
Yep.
His defensive longevity is up there with like Tim Duncan. You know, now offensively, Dirk clears. I'll always give Dirk that edge because at the end of the day, Dirk is one of the most like unique offensive players. He was an amazing mid-range shooter. I think actually he's a pretty underrated rebounder, even by the way. I think his rebound numbers are kind of affected due to where he was placed in the offense. But Dirk offensively, you know, could bully guys in the post, really good footwork, great elite footwork. Just great fundamentals with how he approached his scoring. And he was obviously a great three-point shooter as well. One of the best, probably the second best three-point shooting big ever, behind like Cat, I'd probably say, because that's really all Cat. Hey, Cat changed the game.
Bro, I agree with you. I agree with you. I tell the Glow Yard, Cat is underrated. I don't think he's a better shooter than Dirk, but as far as a 3-point shooter, they underrated. As far as Cat is amazing.
I'd hope that's really all he does for me.
Yeah, that is.
I used to be super high on Karl Anthony Towns, but
everybody was.
Yeah, he's a loser.
Everybody was.
All right. But I don't like Cat anymore at all.
You think Dirk though? You think KG? So my thing with Dirk and KG comes down to like playoffs and all that kind of stuff. Like the moment felt like at times it was too big for KG. Like KG wasn't the guy that put the team on his back. He was looking for a guy to be beside him to put. Even Stephon Marbury, when that happened, he was excited for him to be there. Like when they went to that Western Conference Finals run, I felt like the Troy Hudsons and Sam Cassells and all, they were big in big time moments and all that. As far as Dirk has always been the guy, like, put it on my back, let me go and lead you and all. Even when KG finally got his ring and was going to the finals, he was 2A, 2B in that conversation. I feel like Paul Pierce was the go-to number one dude as far as on offense. KG was more of he's a defensive anchor, and then you decide if he's second or third on offense. Dirk always was that guy. Like you said, 2011, I don't think KG could ever sniff running through that competition and doing and making that run that Dirk did. So I know the defense is like untouchable. You can't compare the defense because KG is amazing defensively. I just think that KG's offense is nowhere near as close as Dirk is. Dirk is generational offense. Like, and I know KG's generational defense, but offense weighs more than defense, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So
I would say, well, for starters, let me just say this. Remember I said my favorite players passed Dirk up years ago. I wasn't talking about Wade. I was talking about Curry and Giannis. Those are my two favorite players in the league. Giannis, I think, is going to pass both of these guys up.
I think Giannis is the second best power forward already.
I don't know about already, but he's going to pass him up regardless.
I think he's
even if it takes next year or 2 years, because like the longevity from both of them on both sides of the ball, I kind of want to respect that a little bit more and give Giannis time. But I don't blame anybody for saying Giannis is better.
I mean, that's it though. That's all he needs is the rest of his stats for his career.
Yeah, but as far as KG and Dirk, I'll say this. For one, I think there are a couple playoffs we could pull up from Dirk that weren't very good. That 07 series against the Warriors, unacceptable. I mean, you talk about James Harden that one game. That series from Dirk is horrible. Like, they went small ball, completely bullied.
At least they had our coach though, Mustard. They had
I know John Nelson. I get it.
They at least had our coach.
I get it, but nobody cares about that. I don't care about that. It's a nice. I get it. It's a nice explanation, fallback plan. You feel me? But no, I'm not trying to hear that. That was unacceptable. And not only that, even when they went to the finals in 06.
06, that's it.
That was unacceptable. There's a reason why that 2011 championship matters. Not just because of the teams he went through and how great it was. It's because go look at how people cared about the Mavs back then. Everybody looked at the Mavs. I don't want to say like the Raptors because they made the finals, but they looked at the Mavs like kind of like Utah, like when they had Gobert and D. Mitch. Yes, we know you're a great team, but we know come playoff time, like y'all aren't on anything. Y'all aren't on. I don't want to cuss. Y'all aren't on anything.
It wasn't usually Dirk's fault though, Mustard. I give you 06 finals, right? And I'll give you 07 the first round. other than that, there's not Dirk doesn't have a choke appearance. Like Dirk is usually the
But I
one
also
putting
think
30 and
it's hard
10
to win.
in the
I think
team.
another thing also you're forgetting, and I've said this for a while, and that's why I say it really takes such a generational offensive player to offset this. But defensively, Dirk was never that great. Dirk was pretty mediocre defensively for most of his career, to at points even being bad.
Trash. Yep.
Yeah. So like it's really hard to win with even a mediocre defensive big. It's really hard. Like very, very hard. You have to be a generational offensive player to offset that, which is why I had my doubts about Jokic. As great as he was offensively, I was like, man, defensively, he has to step up. And these playoffs, he was good defensively. I give him credit for that. But like, and same thing applies to Dirk. As great as he was offensively in a lot of these series, like especially in the Steve Nash years, where Nash is on his team. And granted, Nash, I'm very high on Nash. I think Nash is one of the best offensive players ever. But Nash and Dirk, as great as they were offensively together, they're probably the best offensive team ever. Best offensive duo you could argue ever, statistically speaking. You could go look at the numbers, it all backs it up. But the problem is they were so bad defensively. And you add them both together, it's
Don
hard.
Nelson era.
That's management, though. Mustard.
hard.
They should have had. You got to take the center position seriously and not have Dwight Powell.
And that's why I was about to say. That's why you combat with those type of players, like what what's the name Denver did with Jokic. They gave him Aaron Gordon. We
Tyson
combated
Chandler.
that with Tyson Chandler. Right?
Those players are not easy to find.
No. I'm not saying they're easy, but that's what they ended up doing.
Try to find it. Yeah, you got to go and search.
So when they found it, they took advantage of it.
Yeah, but like and like I said, y'all would be better at explaining this than me. But I don't know back then if you could really find if somebody was available in trade market or free agency, or if they even had the money. Because let's not forget, Mark Cuban didn't want to pay Steve Nash, which I thought was ridiculous. Looking back on it, that was a huge mistake to not pay Steve Nash. So maybe he just wasn't willing to pay to get certain guys to fill up those holes. I mean, even after 2011, they let all those guys
let everybody go. Yep.
So that's also
no. All that was Donnie's fault, young Mustard. Donnie's fault. Shout out to Larry.
Don Nelson was there in 2011.
Donnie
son was the GM.
Okay.
Yeah, we got a guy who blames him for everything. But go ahead.
I was just they never take the position seriously. Like we've always been in conversations for players and all that kind of stuff. Mustard. Like every player that was available during free agency, I feel like during Dirk's era, was associated or attached to the Mavericks. As far as the Mavericks can get a conversation, the Mavericks, they just didn't get it done. So really, I feel like Dirk should be Dirk has an argument to be the number one power forward of all time. And that's hold on. And that's because Tim Duncan isn't really a power forward. We all know he's a power forward because he decided to be one, so that's fine. So if he wasn't the greatest power forward, he'd be like number 5, 6 center of all time. So he wanted to be the greatest power forward of all time. I understand that. That's fine. But if that didn't happen, I think Dirk would be the greatest power forward of all time. I think there's so many opportunities where Mark Cuban and the organization failed him, where we don't even think about it. Like that winningest in that West, that hard West that you talked about. Yeah. It was San Antonio, LA, and Dallas. The 3 teams that was
some years Minnesota. Yeah.
Some years
the
Minnesota.
Jazz, the Nuggets.
The run as far as the teams. The
3 consistent teams.
The 3 consistent teams that always won 50 games and all that. LA, San Antonio, and Dallas were the 3 teams. So if he stood in that time with losing Steve Nash, getting Jason Terry, not having an all-star and all that, that shows you how great I feel like Dirk was as far as to winning over here in Dallas. And it's just that the organization failed him some, and he should be the greatest power forward of all time. But that's
remember our second option was Jason Terry, who was coming off the bench.
Yep.
Hey, but I mean, Josh Howard had some good years, I think. Also,
he did. Got us to the finals.
And I'm not gonna lie, that 2000s West, I've always said that is one of the most difficult levels.
Bro,
I think that's the most.
That was a fun time too, in my opinion, bro. If you think about it, like that whole era, man.
They talk about the 90s. The 90s was dominated by Jordan, but that 2000s, West,
that
incredible. Was back and forth and all that. Like I loved it. So
to be fair, I think the 90s was weird because of course you had Jordan's domination, but a lot of the greatest players outside of Jordan were either leaving their prime or just starting their prime, like Shaq, Hakeem. Well, Hakeem was Jordan's era, but Shaq was like just
Yeah,
starting.
Hakeem was
Kobe
leaving
was
it.
just
Shaq was
starting.
starting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Duncan had just came in, and then like to begin the '90s, yeah, Isaiah Thomas, Magic, Bird, they were like
They were
leaving their prime.
Injuries or having to leave for reasons. Yep.
But 2000s, man, because even outside of the Spurs, Lakers, Mavs, like even like the middle tier or like the teams that popped up for a couple years. So you obviously had Steve Nash's Suns, Sacramento, even Houston with T-Mac and Yao for a couple years. Like obviously Darren Williams and Carlos Boozer, KG and the Wolves were a problem for a couple years. That
Rashad, what is it? Rasheed Wallace in Portland and all them. Even though
Seattle
with Rashard Lewis and
Ray Allen.
Yep. It was a lot of
those teams. Those were some that 2000s West was crazy. I think the only thing that could really compare is like, I guess 2010s West. 2010s West was pretty crazy. Also, the Western Conference, like since 2000, has just been insanely. Yeah, it's been insane.
Man, you want to get to any of the people, bro? Go ahead. I don't know.
I guess
you can ask anything else.
Oh no, we good. We can get to some of them, man.
I know some of them really wanted to talk to him.
Yeah. Oh, got one there for sure. Wanted to talk to him. So all right, guys, we going. Oh my bad. I guess I didn't I'm over here listening to y'all. I ain't even do my thing. All right, guys. Listen, got the questions in the comments, guys. We're gonna try to get a few of them here in for you guys. While we got Young Mustard on for a little bit, man. Y'all know the routine. Hit us with the WTM in front of the question or your comment, guys. Also, try to be respectful in the comment section, guys. Do that for us. So first up, King, we got this. We got a new member of the channel.
Hey,
Jamon Jackson. Appreciate you, man. We definitely welcome you to the channel, man. Go back and check our content out, man. Our members only content, man. And be nice to Larry, man. Be nice to Larry.
We got Richard in the house. He a Glow Yard gang member. He says, "Good morning, all. Good morning, Richard. Was it afternoon then over here?
Yeah, it's way past afternoon to you.
Yeah,
y'all out there in Dallas? Oh, I know you said Baltimore. You're in Dallas, right?
I'm in Dallas.
Okay, that's what's up.
Yeah. So I know firsthand about KP over here. Div says, I just subscribed to Young Mustard because he joined We Talk, man.
Appreciate that.
Yes, sir. I got this stuff in the.
My bad. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, man.
I said I heard your Baltimore accent. Whenever you say like "to," like y'all, y'all have like a whole different language out there in Baltimore.
Yes, they do.
Kind of wild. Like
y'all
say
try to get two Baltimore guys on at the same time. It's crazy.
Like I'm finna go get a bip later.
Hey, Div says, Young Mustard, you said that Seawood was a horrible signing. Dang, defend yourself on that. Tell us what you think of Seawood in front of King and Rel. LOL.
I think Seawood is. I don't want to even say a good player. I think Seawood is useful. Man. He's a useful player, but I think he presents a lot of problems at that big man position because outside of his shooting, he does nothing else that impacts the game at a super high level. I mean, his rebounding, I'll give him that. But even his shooting, it's literally just 3-point shooting, mid-range shooting. He's not a good free throw shooter. He isn't a great finisher. He's not much of like a post. He's not a good screener. He's not a good roller. Like maybe go ahead.
What if I told you Mustard he was our second best free throw shooter on our team?
Second best free throw shooter? That just speaks to the poor free throw.
No.
Well, third best Jake is Jaden Hardy. Jaden Hardy, Kyrie, Jaden Hardy, and then Christian Wood got himself up to almost 80%. He was like 78, I think.
He was 78
last year. Yep.
You stunned, ain't you?
He got to 78. He can roll to the rim and dunk.
That's still not moving. He's not a good roller. I don't think he's a good roller, a great screener. He could be a lob threat. I'll give him that. But he's so the biggest issue, honestly, it isn't even the offense. It's the defense. Defensively, because he has offensive limitations, but just off of the fact that he's a legitimate stretch big, he has value there. But defensively, oh my God. Bro, there's
I forgot you say you in Houston, right?
Yeah, I live in Houston.
So you watched him. Okay.
I watched him.
That's right.
I watched him in Houston. I watched him in even in Detroit, that last couple stint. I watched him. He is a bad defender. He's bad at the rim, gives you very little resistance. He can be a decent shot blocker, I guess, but even then, shot blocking is not even close to all of defense. at that position. Doesn't time things well, isn't very disciplined, bad in the pick and roll, bad on the perimeter, walking blow by, IQ poor, lacks effort at times. And also another thing is his teammates don't like him. Everywhere he's gone, he's had problems with teammates. Houston, and I've heard some stuff about Dallas. Now you guys can fill me in better on that, but I've heard like he hasn't always gotten along with a lot of his teammates. Even when Jason Kidd said Christian Wood's going to come off the bench, Christian Wood's reaction, like he went straight to Twitter and was like, "Oh, I can't believe, like, ha ha ha, LOL." I do like he doesn't really create a great locker room environment. He's contributed to some bad locker room. I think that even goes back to Detroit. Even this is the reason he's been passed around the league, and it's not just because of the teams he's been on. It's because he doesn't have that impact the way people think. That's just how I feel. I just don't think he's a good player. Like, I don't want to say good player because good is so subjective now. Like technically anybody can be good. Like a role player can be good. But like what I mean is like he's not somebody that really should be playing like 25 plus minutes on a championship team. On a championship team, I think he's like a 15, 20-minute max guy. And I mean max 20-minute guy. Like that's it.
Does he have more value than Dwight Powell?
I mean, yeah.
That's then.
So,
Good to go.
hey,
But even then, there's a reason why Dwight Powell is still getting minutes when Christian Wood's on the team.
Jason Kidd.
Think about that. Think about it.
Mm-hmm.
We can think about it every night.
Yep. Div says, Young Mustard, you said that Luka is a cone on defense. Please explain. Oh, they attacking you, Div. All your Mavs.
Oh, I mean, this past year, he was damn near a cone. Come on now.
I mean,
I agree with you.
Yeah, I hate to say it. And by the
we
way,
even talked about it. So
I don't want people to think I hate Luka. I like Luka, man. Like, go to my channel. I predicted him to win the MVP this year. You feel me? Like,
damn it,
he let me down this year. Like all the other
don't
years,
jinx it, bro. You're gonna jinx it, man.
No, not this upcoming
Not this
year.
year.
Last year.
All right, good.
Yeah.
All right.
I predicted him too because like I jumped on the Luka like MVP shit. No, I'm sorry, I don't mean to cuss. I jumped on the Luka MVP train because remember every year Luka's always the preseason pick for MVP.
Yep.
But last year after them coming off the conference finals, I was like, man, I'm ready. Luka's finna take this leap. The Mavs, they may make I didn't think they were gonna make the finals, but I was like, they may make another Western Conference Finals push. I'm ready to see it because Luka come playoff time, he's always doing something historic. Whether it's cooking D-Book, whether it's cooking the Clippers, something.
Ooh, I like that.
Unfortunately, Luka let me down. He let me
man.
down. So it's just how it is.
Div also says, Young, why you don't like Cat? Laughing my butt off. Watched a video saying that Cat's IQ is like that of an ant. Wow.
Oh, I ain't seen that video yet.
Defensive IQ. I think he's seen it defensively, but I made a video about the Wolves. No, I didn't make a video about them specifically. I was talking about like the disappointments of the season, and I said the Wolves are one of them for sure. Because Cat's defensive IQ, that's another thing. Remember I brought up defense for bigs. Cat is another one. Cat, he fouls out every game, it feels like.
All the time.
Every game, like, and it's so weird because it's like Cat in college coming into the league, he was seen as a really good defensive player. That was like one of the things that sold him being the first overall pick. And defense has been like such a big problem for him. That's why they had to go get Gobert. And say what you want about Gobert, I would rather move Cat than Gobert. I actually think you can win more with Gobert as your big than Cat.
I agree.
Hey, I think they're trying to do that right now.
Yep.
Yeah, I would move Cat. I'd actually move him because that is also that. Say what you want about Gobert's contract. At least Gobert is giving you something that can contribute towards winning. Like his defense can contribute. Cat's offense can contribute, but the defense is such a drawback at that 5. It's such a drawback at that position. So, but I do think next year, whether they keep Cat or not, they're going to be better. I do think they'll be better next year because I think Ant's going to take a jump. I like the Conley pickup. I think Conley's helped Ant on-ball responsibilities as a playmaker. And I think Jaden McDaniels next year, he's also going to take another jump.
Yeah, Jaden, nice, man.
They're going to be better. Nice. But to win a championship, if they have any type of real playoff aspirations, get Cat out of there. Get him out of there.
I agree.
1,000,000% agree.
Div says the intro music is fire. Nice work. Appreciate you. That's shout out to Too Much. Too Much on the beat.
No, that wasn't him.
I want Too Much on the beat on that one?
No.
Okay. I thought that was him.
I was going to hit him up, but I didn't hit him up. That was somebody did like at the last minute.
I got you. Precision said, "Good morning, fellas. Powell needs to be released and banned from Dallas."
What is up with this Dwight Powell? Like, what did Dwight Powell do to you guys? I
Been a
know he
starter
sucks,
for
but
all
like,
these years and haven't developed anything else in this game.
but that's not his
Hey.
fault. Maybe he's meant to be a role player, man. Y'all gotta get off my guy Dwight.
Then he should-
Okay,
I mean,
I'm about to ask this
Fine.
question. I'm about to ask this question I ask every guest on the show, Young Mustard. Can you tell me one thing that Dwight Powell has added in his game over the last? I'm gonna say 2 years. I'm gonna cut it down to 2 years.
I mean, he's a decent offensive rebounder. You feel me? Hey,
hold on. How many offenses? Hold on. He's a decent offensive rebounder. You know how many rebounds total he averages as a starter?
I'm just saying, when I watch the game, he hustles on the offensive glass. That's all I'm saying.
He hustles. That's what he does. That's all
Yeah, he
everybody
hustles.
always says.
You're right.
He hustles.
He
He hits a
definitely
bunch
hustles.
of balls to the other team, smacking them and all. Like, he does too much at times.
He hustles for kicks in the face and slaps in the face. That's what he
He's
hustles
known for getting
He
hit in
definitely
the
ain't
face.
hustling for no rebounds. We was like dead last in rebounding. When your point guard lead the league and lead the team in rebounding, that's bad.
Yeah,
Hey, I'm looking at it right now. I knew I wasn't tripping. He averages 2 offensive rebounds a game. That's actually solid.
How many rebounds you get all together, though, Mustard?
Oh, look. I'm not saying he's a great rebounder.
You can't just skew
bro,
numbers,
I'm
man.
not saying he's a great rebounder.
Nah,
I'm saying
man.
he
He
hustles on the
slaps all the rebounds back, so sometimes they grab it. A
That's
broken
still
clock is right
hustling,
2
bro.
times.
That's-
Man, not when you're giving up
Time out,
fast breaks all the time, though.
So
He's
you're
giving up
telling me
fast
right now,
breaks.
you're telling me right now, if we go hoop, even if I don't get the rebounds, I'm smacking it in your direction. That's not hustling.
No, hold up. Let's say we hooping, right? And you out on the perimeter, I'm the big man and all. And every time the ball comes, it's like grab the rebound. And I smack it. And like most of the game, they running fast breaks. But like 2 times in the game, you catch it and like, oh, okay, you gave it to me. Are you gonna say keep smacking it? Like, why don't this man grab the
I'm
rebound?
just saying, okay, I'm sure not all of his rebounds are smacks, but I'm just saying, I'm just saying, go look at his. You asked me something that he's gotten better at.
Mm-hmm.
Go look at like the other years. He's improved as an offensive rebounder, bro. I'm just saying that's value he provides. He still sucks, but that's value that he provides to the game. You feel me? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
I don't know about that one, but okay. Go ahead.
Dave says, I agree with Young Mustard. KD is overrated. He isn't held to standards of
I
other
never
top
said
players.
Young Mother said he's the most overrated player of all time, man. No, I'm playing.
They always use excuses for KD when he loses. Oh, they got hurt. Yet Giannis was hurt this year. My opinion of KD, he can't make other players better, nor does he have the ability to carry bumps to new heights like LeBron, Luka, etc. He is overrated and thin-skinned superstar who can't take criticism. So, I can respect it.
I do kind of agree with the thin-skinned. He is kind of thin-skinned.
But I actually like that he's thin. I think he's turned it around and became that villain and has enjoyed being a villain. I enjoy that part about KD. That he talks to fans and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. That's the part I love, that he talks to the fans.
I love it. Richard, also, he's a Glow Yard gang member, says, so we are having cupcakes for breakfast. I see. Oh, man.
I'm not touching that one, man. Y'all leave KD alone, man.
Div says, I'm getting sick of FIBA and watching Luka get hurt every game again. I wish he just didn't play. You are literally playing Mavs system and team is for it. Yeah, I said that. I always say to KD lovers who said LeBron wasn't as good, take LeBron and put him on a Warriors team that KD want to chip with. Guarantee you Golden State would have more championships. KD isn't high IQ for others. He always looks to score. That is why he is efficient, because he always looks to score. He isn't focused on setting other ups. He's a rich man's Booker. Ooh.
Jesus. Dip on one today.
I mean, Booker is that kind of like look like a better. I can understand what he's saying, but I ain't gonna go that far. Big J, Glow Yard gang member, says Charles Barkley said it best. KD is a bus rider, but he wants the accolades of a bus driver.
Jesus Christ, what's going on today, man?
Man, y'all cooking KD. My goodness.
Man, we got a guest in the house.
I heard some sizzling going on, bro. I don't know what's going on. It's crazy.
Div says Wemby, I predict, won't last without getting hurt. Too skinny. He is going to be disappointment due to injuries. He is another Zion.
Damn. Y'all predicted it. That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait to see that, bro.
I don't want to wish injuries on anybody.
Yeah, I ain't trying to wish that on that boy.
Richard says, I see Wemby being a Claxton with offense, but Claxton has stayed healthy. I think it'll be even better than Claxton. Like I think you haven't seen what he's going to be yet. That's what I feel like Wemby is when you see him on the court.
Like Claxton, it wasn't projected to have the type of defensive impact that Wemby's gonna have. that
Yeah,
Wemby's projected to have. So.
I will say Claxton's a great defender.
He's
I really
amazing.
Oh, don't get me started on him.
Oh yeah.
I've been wanting him over here, man, for like 2-3 years
okay.
now.
Okay, yeah, great defensive player.
We Certis, I guess, says only thing I don't like about Wemby is that he went to a lower level team out of EuroLeague to get more minutes and points when he had offers for better competition teams.
I mean, I guess that's true. It's what it is. It's what it is. Playing with grown men is a better. I think that's a better opportunity.
You said Luka Dončić. Div says watching Slovenia play, Luka's passing is stupid good with FIBA. It is like Luka can set up wide open threes for his teammates every play. Imagine Luka with a Steph or a Clay in their prime. Oh man, who's a better passer, Luka or Joker?
Jokic.
Richard says if Wemby. Luka can do more.
Better passer than Jokic.
Luka can literally do more than Joker as far as off the move and that kind of stuff. Joker is more of a. Joker can pass the ball up court and all. Joker can do the half court breakdown and all, but Luka's a different. He does everything Joker does and what LeBron and them does as far as driving, dishing. Like it's a different. I think I'm not underrating Joker. I think Joker's the greatest big man passer ever, but I think Luka's one of the greatest passers of all time.
I think Jokic. I mean, you might call me creaming here, but I think Jokic is a top 5 passer like ever.
Ooh.
That's how great of a passer I think Jokic is, and a lot of it has to do with how tall he is and how he can see the floor. Like,
he reminds me.
Who is Jokic?
He's a bonus. He reminds me of
like
bonus.
You notice, like I would say
the
top 5 passes ever. 3 of my top 5 passes ever are big. Pause. But like you got LeBron, Magic, and Jokic. They all 3 of them see the floor because of their height and size advantage in ways other guards and players don't. The only other person I would say is in that tier is like Steve Nash. I think Steve Nash is a passer is up there with them. But like other than those 3, like they're like a clear. Jokic, he sees the floor in every way possible, out the post, in the half court, off the pick and roll, short roll. Don't forget short roll passing is also very important for him. Transition. Obviously, he can't run the break like Luka, but he's still an effective transition player because not even just with full court passes, but just like
I agree with you.
Ball. I think he has a higher IQ, less turnovers than Luka. You know, Luka, as great as he is, he doesn't have the IQ that Jokic has. One thing I will say Luka has, similar to Jokic, you can't double him. When you double either of them, it's a mistake. You know what I'm saying? So I'll give Luka that, but I don't think he has anything on Jokic as a passer.
Here's my passing lineup. And it could be a hot take if you want it to be. Luka, Larry Bird, then Joker. I think Larry Bird's a better passer than Joker.
Those are the 3 best passes to you?
No. The 3 as far as I think I'm saying one's greater than the other. I think Larry Bird's a better passer than Joker, and I think Luka's a better passer than Larry Bird.
Larry Bird. I think Larry Bird is.
He was the second best passer behind
underrated. He's underrated passer, man.
Like
very underrated.
I don't think he's underrated. People know how great of a passer Larry Bird is.
No, you ask like random casual fan, they're gonna think of him as a shooting threes. Like nobody even thinks of passing when it comes to Larry Bird, unless you're like really into basketball.
I think Larry Bird. It's actually kind of crazy because I actually think in terms of play style, I think I think Larry Bird and Jokic play very similar. If you watch like Larry Bird's old tape. So I don't mind you saying Larry Bird's one of the best passers. I don't think he's a better passer than Jokic, though. I think he's a better passer than Luka. Not gonna lie, he is. Hey, that's nothing wrong with that.
But Luka's a point guard. Literally, that shows you. It's like the whole conversation you said earlier about James Harden being 6'5" and all. With him being a point guard, that already gives him more responsibility and better passes he can make. With him being the actual point guard.
I mean, yeah, but I also think Bird was never in a position where he had to play the point, though.
Hey, whose fault is that?
It's not no one's fault. It's nobody's fault.
He's a point guard. He's not playing.
Team was just good enough. Like that's my thing. That's my thing with Luka again. You're gonna get me started again. Luka's. I don't want to get into that. I don't want to get into that. People are gonna think I'm hating. I don't want to get into that. It's crazy that like in these combos. That's why I say these heliocentric offenses, they be making y'all think that someone's better than they really are. Nah, and that doesn't mean Luka's overrated, but like Luka has opportunities to do things that like you already know it's not gonna win a championship.
Mustard, I agree with you on Harden. I agree with you on Westbrook. Like I at these points, I wish I wasn't. Hold on. At this point, I wish I wish I wasn't a Dallas Maverick fan. I tell Rel all the time when I explain Luka on this. He's not in the same breed as Russell and James Harden. He's a different beast. Like, even watch his FIBA performance. Yesterday, the pass he made across the court where he just went through two guys and got the man
He literally
wide
opened that guy up for the three.
Whose performance you said?
Lucas and
Luka.
FIBA yesterday, I said.
FIBA.
He made a pass today in the corner from one side, and just the guy was just standing there. Like, went through two guys. They didn't even know it was gonna go through there. Like, they just stood there and was like, oh, what? And James Harden and Russell Westbrook, I feel like, kind of over inflate their stats a little bit. Like, I'm not saying they're not incredible, and it's not incredible that they do that, but like, Russell Westbrook is not one of the greatest passers of all time, even though he averages.
Oh, that's you're hating.
Greatest. Come on, man. You think Russell Westbrook is one of the greatest passers? Is he a top 5 passer of all time?
Oh, but you don't have to be top 5 to be one of the greatest passers.
No, what I'm saying is I'm not putting him on that level like we just talked about. Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, there's levels to this, but he is one of the best passers ever.
I mean, as far as a Nash, Luka, LeBron, Joker.
You keep throwing Luka in this convo with Nash. Come on. That's just so disrespectful.
You'll see Luka's in there.
No, I will see. No, Luka is up there among the greatest passers, but like,
how do you get 40? How do you get
me start? I don't want to start hating on Luka. I just think that when you're talking about Nash, Jokic, LeBron, Magic, that's their own tier. They're like in a tier of their own, in my opinion.
You've seen that game against the Clippers. He did have 14 assists or whatever. And that game, that win, was it game 4? That 41.
I mean, that's fine. Him cooking Patrick Beverly and Reggie Jackson.
No. He ain't just cooking. Assists aren't cooking. You got to give assists to these guys. And there was
I agree.
You
could have all the assists in the world, and that doesn't make you a better playmaker or passer.
No, it doesn't. You're
right. I could run 1,000 pick and rolls in a game and get 13 assists.
Russell Westbrook.
Me? That's not, y'all are hating on Westbrook.
I'm not. I love Russell Westbrook. I was more.
No, that's fine if you think he's a better passer than Westbrook. By the way, I agree with that.
He's a better passer. James
let's
Harden's
put
a better
Westbrook
passer.
to the side because I'm not even like a big Russ guy. Let's put him to the side. Like, Luka's a better passer. That's fine. You could put him to the side.
Oh, what you mean?
But as far as like James Harden, what did you say?
No, go ahead. No, go ahead.
As far as James Harden and like Luka, it's crazy to me how y'all see Luka in this system. And y'all say that Harden and Westbrook, it's just heliocentric. They're inflating their stats. You don't think Luka is doing that right now? You don't think that the system he's in? You think if Luka was in, I'm trying to think, Boston, you think he's going to be putting up these crazy assist numbers and
he'd have even
high usage?
He'd have even more assists. I think he could average like
maybe more assists.
30, he could be like 30 and 15.
This is fair, but he's not putting up the high volume scoring numbers that he was doing all that.
It'll be easier. That's what I'm saying. I don't think you realize how efficient.
More efficient. He'd be more efficient. Correct.
He'll be shooting. If he's shooting 50% right now, we're talking about a guy that does all this that'll be shooting like 55%. Doing that, making it the game easier, shooting even less buckets. Like Luka, the issue with Luka really is it ain't that he chuck up a bunch of shots. He chucks up a bunch of threes that he misses at times and just goes on a run.
A lot of them contested threes.
When he goes to the rim,
three. He's a shot chucker from 3. Yeah.
When he goes to the rim, he's one of the top as far as and ones. Like he's finishing at the rim and going to the line and all that. So I think you put him on more of a efficient team. Like James Harden has never been efficient as far as field goal percentage. As far if you're looking at
he's efficient. He's an efficient player.
What 45%? It depends on what you think efficiency is.
Like I mean, but look at like his true shooting. Like he's pretty efficient though.
I mean, he shoots the hell out of free throws into the playoffs. Like that's what I'm saying. That's why the game.
Oh, by the way, we talked about manipulating the game. You're a Luka fan. You got on Harden for manipulating the game, getting to the line and manipulating players.
You can get free throws. That's not his game is based off of just getting is mainly free throws.
That's not no. Harden's game is not just based off of getting to the line.
He has more free throws than field goals, though.
Bro, that can apply. Look, I'm just gonna be honest. I think you could also apply that to a lot of other players, by the way.
What other great players?
I think that shouldn't even matter because like I think getting to the free throw line is a skill.
It is.
Like that is a skill. Like Harden is that dominant on the court, on the field, like on the court, that people have to foul him to stop him. That is not James Harden's fault. That is on the fault of the defense. I guess it's Harden that's causing it, but still, you get my point.
Regular season mustard. Regular season mustard.
I mean, but even in the playoffs, he's still getting to the line consistently. He still is. Hard, not as much. Which
I
is
about
a
to say
big
he
problem.
ain't getting there as much.
Everything goes down in the playoffs. It
No,
seems
I
like
agree. They
everything.
allow you to be more physical. I understand that. So Harden's not going to get to the line as much.
You know
But,
what?
like,
Let me
go
ask
ahead.
you this one thing, and then you can say everything you want to say about Harden. Luka, have you ever seen him in the play? Like you just said earlier, in the playoffs, he gets amazing numbers in the regular season. It's not like he's a regular season guy like Jimmy Butler and all. He can get you like 30 points in the regular season, right? When the playoffs come around, what do you expect from Luka Dončić? To become one of the greatest playoff players as far as performance you've ever seen. Hey, we can give a small sample size James Harden at that point. It still wasn't the same.
Hey, but look at, and granted, the Clippers, I can give him credit for cooking the Clippers. I can give him credit for that.
His worst series is the Warriors, and that's way better than most of James Harden's series.
Most is crazy. Okay. I don't know about most.
He averaged 30.
A good chunk. Yes, a good chunk.
But he averaged 30. But he averaged 30 and shot over 50% in that series.
No, I don't think he shot and shoot 50% of that series.
Look, here's my thing. I don't think it's
inefficient.
Even.
That was the issue.
Oh yeah, you're right.
That's the one where he's inefficient. That's the only one where he shot like under 50% so far. Has been the Golden State Warriors.
And when like 40.
No, I agree. When Wiggins locked him up, I know.
No, Wiggins didn't lock him up.
Nah, he shot 50% on Wiggins.
The best percentage
yeah, he shot the best percentage on Wiggins.
They were hedging Wiggins a lot. Wiggins. They were hedging Luka a lot. But I mean, look, I hate the fact that like y'all got me defending James Harden. I'm not trying to defend Harden here. I'm not saying Harden is not a folder, that he doesn't get less efficient in the playoffs. I understand all of that. My only thing when it comes to like the Harden, especially with Harden and Luka conversation, I'm just more so talking about the way they play the game. The way they play the game, like you talk about Harden manipulating the game, getting to the free throw line. Luka does the same thing. You talk about Harden, like, oh, his numbers are inflated because he has this heliocentric offense. Luka is the same thing. Like you said what?
Imagine if he hit those free throws. That's the issue. He takes advantage of the game.
But that even helps my argument. He's not even hitting the shots that he's manipulating.
Like goes off.
And like I love Luka, like he's a great player, but like the way he plays and the way Harden was playing, we can all agree that's not gonna win a championship. It's not. It's not championship ball. And that's the reason why play off ball a little bit more and try more on defense. That's I'm sorry.
You're not. You're right on wrong. Yeah,
and those are the same arguments people used against James Harden. It's just not fair to me.
I don't agree with. So the thing I use those ones, but it's not just that. Is what I feel like. James Harden, it ain't just like he was amazing offensively. He didn't give those. Like James Harden completely disappears. That's I feel like he completely disappears in the playoffs. So it's Luka's already giving you. Luka is one of the best playoff performers already. We can say sample size or whatever. Like I've never felt, even when they tried to go against Luka in the Phoenix series at the beginning, they called him a cone. Then he turned it right around and started actually giving effort on defense. He showed I can do this. James Harden, on the other hand, would have been like, oh, okay, well, you guys said I can't do this, and I guess I can't, and it would have been game over. So that's how I feel about James. And it's just a different beast. He plays more like LeBron. He rises to the moment. You got to get LeBron the right pieces and all. You have to build around him with his system. It's how it is.
He's not LeBron. I hear you.
He's not LeBron, but he might be better offensively than LeBron. But he's not LeBron as far as complete. I'm telling you, at the end of the day, I think he may be better offensively than LeBron.
Maybe at the end of the day.
I'm not saying right now. He's not a better. I'm saying I think his trajectory, I should say.
No, that's fair.
He's better offensively than LeBron, but it'll be how far he can get defensively as far as getting him to a LeBron level and how many championships and finals and all that nonsense. But I just go ahead, Rob. I'm sorry.
No, I was just want to say what you've been talking about the way the team is built, Young Mustard, man. That's what we say. The way that they built the team this year, me and King been screaming this for the last like 2 or 3 years now. You have to build a team to where you can play him more off the ball, right? You got to get more guys that can be able to handle, who can at least be, comparable when it comes to trying to do their own thing on offense. Like I'm not looking for Luka to set me up. I can go out here and get my own buckets. You know what I'm saying? That makes the offense flow a little bit better to where you're not heavily dependent on Luka. Luka don't feel like he got to do everything on offense to where he don't do anything on defense. So that's how we're building our team right now this offseason, to where everything that you're saying, I mean, as a Mavs fan, I gotta agree with you. I can't sit there and knock it, right? You're saying you're right, but it's just that the fact that that's what we're trying to go away from. We don't want people like you on the outside saying, "Oh, it's because he's heliocentric or whatever. We're trying to get away from that. So we're looking at the way the team is built right now. Like you said, we got Kyrie now who can help get out the ball. Like Grant Williams, guys like that can dribble the ball a little bit, man. Can get their own bucket to where Luka's not dribbling the air the ball to top.
I
of
don't
the
know about
key.
Grant Williams getting his own bucket though. Grant Williams can't get a bucket.
I
He's
think
a good player though. He's a good player for
Oh.
them. Bro.
You don't think you can 1-on-1 against weaker guys with Luka and Kyrie on the floor?
I've been saying because
think
I've seen
Grant-
a bunch of times he can do that. Hey, matter of fact, he's better than
Grant can like attack closeouts and
Yeah, that's what I
some
mean.
like
But
that.
that
Yeah,
kind of-
that's that's what
we
I'm-
didn't have
I mean,
guys. We didn't have guys that could.
We
do
didn't have
that.
anybody that could do that.
No,
Exactly.
I
Reggie
agree.
Bullock doesn't
I
do
think
that.
somebody I would have. It would have been interesting. It's not going to happen, obviously. But like whenever like the Warriors were picking between Poole and Draymond, and it was
Mhm.
speculation on if Dre was going to leave, Draymond would have been such a perfect pickup for the Mavs.
It
Draymond,
was a rumor. It was a
yeah,
rumor.
Draymond could have been a bit defensively and offensively. I think he would have been like a perfect pickup for y'all. But I mean, it's over now. I mean, he's staying in Golden State, obviously. But if y'all could pick up somebody that like you could run those like DHO actions with, and like can help be a cleaner defensively, man, y'all, man,
They're going to try it with Grant Mustard. I think they're going to try it. They're going to try to give him
Try
more
with
of a role and try with Grant Williams.
Grant
They're
Williams.
going to try it. They're going to see.
I
If he
want to see Josh Green get some more minutes too.
Man.
Man.
Hold on. Say that again.
who you tell?
I said I want to see Josh Green get some more minutes for real.
Oh, y'all, you heard that, right?
Oh
All right, go
man,
ahead.
Josh
Rich-
Green, Derek Lively. I don't know too much about Lively, but from what I've seen, he looks like a great fit for y'all. Good pickup for y'all in that draft.
But you see
Josh
this
Want
Green.
to give him time, man. We want to give him
Hold
time.
But you see this, Mustard. We're gonna get into. You said Lively. Richard says if Wemby schools Dwight the first game, they want to play Dwight again. Yep, that's what's gonna happen.
When's y'all first game? Is it in Dallas or in San
think-
Antonio?
Is it in San Antonio, bro? I don't know.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know if they said where it was. I think they just said it was Dallas and San Antonio. I don't know if they said where.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah. No.
Either
But
way,
did they drop
be
the
there.
official schedule out?
No, just
No,
certain
no.
dates.
Okay.
Div says, "Young Mustard, looking back at the draft, what do you now think of Luka trade? Your opinion, please."
I mean, I was high on Luka coming into the draft. Actually, I'm so glad I have things like
Everybody
documented.
was high.
Yeah, no. I was like,
No,
and I
I'm
have-
not saying you. I'm just saying like It's crazy. Everybody been saying even high on Luka in the draft. I guess I was the only one, but go ahead.
Oh no, there were people who didn't like Luka going into the draft. They thought, oh, this European player is gonna be a bust, blah blah blah. But
Mhm.
like, if you watched Luka like overseas at Madrid, you knew he was like a generational prospect, in my opinion. I actually said he should have been drafted number one in one of my videos, my mock
Mm.
draft videos. I was like, he should be number one. He should go to Phoenix.
I think
And
I saw
thought
that
was
video.
the plan. I thought that was the plan because they actually hired one of his coaches. From
Coaches,
overseas.
yep.
Or
Like, I
Yep.
thought that
Igor,
was the
yeah.
plan. Yeah.
Yep.
But they didn't go with it, so it's whatever. But looking back on it, obviously the Hawks folded. I mean, they should have taken Luka. But you know,
Is Trey overrated to you?
I think he's rated just about.
Okay. That's that's going around on like Twitter and stuff,
Yeah.
right? Like a lot of people,
Like,
yeah.
People are saying he's overrated, but like I'm starting to see people underrate him. Like I'm seeing,
Yeah.
I've seen some lists that have him as low as like 30.
Wait,
and I'm
what?
like
Oh,
30,
wow.
25. Like Trae Young is a
Yeah.
top 15 to 20 player in the league.
he's top
man.
20.
bro.
He's top 20 for sure.
Yeah, easily
Wait,
top
wow.
20.
Yeah, he's
You know,
top 20.
like I think
Bro,
Trae
that-
Young is a probably top. Is he top 5 point guard? I'd probably say top 5 point
Yeah,
guard.
he's top 5 point guard.
Like I would say Steph, Luka, Dame,
Luka, Steph, Dame.
who else? Ja, and there you go. Trey's right there at
That's
5.
crazy,
probably.
bro. How they? I wonder where this came
I feel like I'm
from though.
missing somebody.
Like,
If I'm missing somebody, please.
yeah,
Yeah,
I feel
bro.
like I'm
I'm
Nah,
missing someone. Shea, would you count Shea as a point guard or a 2
You
guard?
say
Nah,
a point
he's a
guard,
two.
though?
He's a
Yeah, I'm gonna
he
say.
plays both, but
If Shea is a point guard, I would take Shea over Trey.
yeah, I would too.
I would too. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's a 2, so I'll probably say Trey.
Yeah, I just wanna know
Giddy
where
is
that
the
does
one.
fit.
Giddy is the one over there in OKC.
Yeah, I think
Giddy.
Giddy is one. Yeah.
We got like 5 minutes, Russ. Let me try to run through some of these. Richard says, "You mean Pop want to kill someone value like Kid did Wood?" Talking about Wemby.
Nah, I think he gonna handle. I think he gonna handle
Yeah,
Wemby
he
a
gonna
whole
be
lot
fine.
better.
Div says, don't compare Luka with Harden's career. Harden had played with freaking all-stars always since he came into the league. Luka played with bottom 5 roster and moved him up.
Y'all better pray Luka doesn't have bad series going for it, because I swear when
He's
if
not.
he does,
hold on.
He's not busted.
y'all better pray he doesn't. Y'all
His
better
bad series.
I know
are
you're gonna
like
drop a
Jordan
video,
against-
bro. Please don't kill us, bro.
No,
His
I'm not
bad
gonna kill Luka.
series.
If it becomes a habit, then I gotta
Okay,
kill
not.
yeah.
His bad series are
That's
going to be
fine.
like Jordan bad series, like Jordan against the Sonics and all that kind of stuff. Like the inefficient game.
No, I mean, I
series he had
said it. I
against
think it's
Golden
impossible
State.
for this guy to have a real bad series.
Yeah, so he won't. He will always have good series. It just would be about efficiency and things like that.
That's why I'm about to say, can you Rice be the efficiency?
Yeah,
like you said, with Golden State, he still scored over 30. He's just,
easy.
I think he shot like 44% or something like that for
right.
the series.
Richard says, no, Dwight Cuban, he needs to cheerlead. Isn't PJ Washington and others beside Woods still job hunting? Harden, biggest choke artist ever.
PJ Washington should be signed by now. That's definitely a pickup he should be making.
We should have been getting him. I don't know why we ain't got him here.
Knights, a Glow Yard gang member. He says, Exum, Hardy, and Curry are not true point guards. Why is everybody leaving Mike Miles Jr. out of the conversation? I'm sure Barrett can dribble the ball, but you're not going to have him at the point.
Well, for one, you just named off the 3 guards ahead of Mike Miles Jr. He's a two-way player. He's not getting those minutes over those players you just named off. So
I just thought of somebody.
Who you got?
I just thought of somebody y'all could have picked up. Obviously, there's controversy around this name, but Miles Bridges, he was.
We've already
talked about that. We already talked about that.
We got too much issues in Dallas, though.
Yeah, we got.
I know. I mean, don't get me wrong. If people think he should be out the league, that's your opinion. That's fine. I don't have a problem if you think that. But considering he was available, a lot of teams could have used Miles Bridges. I'm just saying, a lot of teams.
Bro, you don't think we could? Man, listen, bro, you put him on this team, man. That would have been it, man. Yeah,
but I do think the optics are why he went back to Charlotte. Yeah.
Chico said, "What's good, fellas? I'm predicting 50, 40, 90 season from Kai." I think about right.
That doesn't happen unless he's with James Harden, So
okay. He basically did it last year for us. He just missed the free throws and
too bad he missed a couple free throws. Harden would have got him to make them. It's all good.
Dave says Devin Booker's points per game average in elimination games is drum roll, please. 14 points. Haha. F Booker. He is Luka.
Hey, nobody be talking about elimination. Booker is he's stacking up a bad resume. I'm not gonna lie.
He is.
Yeah, I was saying, we were talking about Booker.
Frank Glowyard.
All right, Trey. Sorry.
He says another reason Harden gets more slander is because people hate how often he chases for fouls and flops. I mean, I tried to tell him.
Luka does that too. Luka does that too, bro.
Like, not to the same level.
And referee, same.
All the great ones, all the great ones do it, but not to the extreme of James Harden, man. You see how they changed? Hold up, you remember when they changed the game for a second and said the offensive players make fouls and all that, and how remember Trae Young was struggling for a minute, James Harden was struggling for a minute when he was with Houston and all that. It didn't. Luka wasn't struggling.
Not Houston. He was in.
I'm sorry, was in Brooklyn by that point. Whatever.
But Harden.
No. It was Houston. He ended up leaving and going to Brooklyn.
It was Brooklyn.
I thought he got traded there. I thought it was the year he got traded. But either way, Luka didn't struggle because of that. He was fine.
No, that was the year after. That was the same year Kyrie. Was Kyrie? Damn, I gotta remember. Kyrie's been doing so many crazy stuff, but I think that was the year. Kyrie was just not showing up at times, or the vaccine. That was the vaccine year. There, Kyrie didn't want to get it, and like he was out for like most of the season. That was that year. Harden was not the same player at that point. Like he just the hamstring after that hamstring injury, just that everything just went away. That athleticism, the first step, it just went away. Go watch Houston Harden, man. Like that's a different player, bro.
I did in the playoffs. I watched Manu Ginobili block him from behind. But this is gonna be the last one, Mustard.
We're gonna get the last one.
Div says Luka Dončić in elimination games is drum roll, please. 35 points per game, and that is with 1 game 7 versus the Suns, where he has 30 plus and didn't play in the fourth quarter. That's why James Harden.
Hey, by the way, that I think the game against the Suns, game 7, that has to be like the most just shocked domination I've ever seen, like of a team. I was so like I was watching.
Didn't you do a video on that too? I forgot that you did a video on that.
I definitely did.
Yeah, I saw that video. I was like,
I remember when that happened. Like when I knew they were cooked, like so cooked. was when he crossed Cam Johnson at right before halftime. When I saw that, I was like, "Oh my God, this is like the most embarrassing loss I have ever seen." I can't even think of a team lost like, oh my God, at home. The Suns were at home. Oh,
you know what's crazy about that, Young Monster? If we didn't squander the lead in the second half of Game 5, we would have put away in 6.
Yeah,
I think y'all would have won in 6.
Yeah, we would have had it in 6.
We'd beat him in 6.
So we was at home. Remember, that's the series that we was all winning at home.
Yeah,
so Game 6 would have been at home. Yeah, we would have ended it right there.
I think either way, though, just the whole thing of them talking shit. I'm sorry, I'm gonna cuss. Them talking trash to Luka, D-Book, and especially D-Book, you know. And then Luka comes out before Game 7 and says everybody's tough when they're up.
Yep.
And like just the fact that he didn't even care. He didn't even care. He talked trash and then went in there and was just, for lack of, I don't want to cuss, just made them his kids.
Yep.
That was the most embarrassing loss I've ever. And the Suns, I swear, the way they've lost over the last 3 years with like D-Book and Chris Paul, that era, like they got destroyed by Giannis with 50 in the closeout game.
Yep.
Luka destroys them in a Game 7. The Nuggets destroy them in a Game 6. And like that Suns team, people talk about like how the Bucks won because everybody was hurt. The Suns only have success against injured teams. Anytime they face a healthy team, they always get embarrassed. They always get embarrassed.
Our whole trade is listening to this, man.
We said Suns and 4. Suns and 4 is what we said here. But
Suns and 4.
Suns and 4. Yep.
Oh, please. Maybe they'll lose in 4.
So that's what they told us when they beat us at the Game 1. They were yelling it, son. They were all in the chat and all that.
Man.
Oh, the guy. Remember Suns and 4.
Yep.
Man, that team doesn't know how to beat any team healthy, bro, at all.
That's crazy, bro. I do remember that video you posted, man. I had to watch that on repeat, man. But yeah, listen, guys, that's gonna probably do it for us tonight, man. We definitely appreciate everybody rocking with us, man, for a brand new episode of We Talk Mavs, where we talk Mavs from a fan's perspective. I'd like to thank our guest, Young Mustard, man. Listen, guys, go ahead and follow him on Young Mustard on YouTube, guys. Follow him on YouTube. Go ahead and if you're new to the channel, guys, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. If you're into Dallas Maverick content, guys, we definitely got more coming up. We got a few more guests coming up. Me and King are putting together. We've been talking to folks. Also, everybody hit that like button too, man. That'll help grow the channel. We definitely appreciate that too. This will be up in podcast form here, guys, in about 30 minutes. So if you listen to us right now on podcast form, how y'all doing? We definitely appreciate the growth in that. Follow us on all our socials. We got the link down in the description box below, guys, to all of our socials, so you guys can follow us on there. I also got Young Mustard's information. This I want to say Twitter. What's it called? X. His X. That's stupid, but anyway, his X and all that stuff is down in the description box below, guys. So you guys can.
That's crazy. We got to start calling it X now.
I still call it Twitter, bro. This is ridiculous, man. But anyway, but yeah, but listen, guys, we will be back here on Tuesday evening, guys, 10:30 p.m. Same mat time, same mat channel. You guys already know. Young, you want to say anything before we go, man?
Nah, I appreciate you guys having me. I definitely plan to come back here again when the Mavs.
Oh man,
depending on what the season look like, because you never know. I'll be here regardless. Mavs do good, I'll be here. They do bad, I'll be here.
Man.
Hey, he put the emphasis on the bad part. Like,
I'll be there.
I'm gonna definitely be here. Okay.
You are officially a part of the Glow Yard now, man. So we appreciate you, Mustard.
Yeah, we definitely appreciate.
And also, when the Kyrie stuff happens, because I'm predicting a Kyrie situation.
Please don't do that. Come on.
Y'all go deep down. Something's gonna go wrong, but it's all
not now. I think it's different. I feel like finally, Mustard. I'm gonna tell you. I know we get the end. It is different now.
He thinks it's different.
Kyrie is at the end of his career now, where he finally wants to make the top 100 list, and he's like, going towards
that's over, dude. That's over.
I hope that's it, man. I hope he's thinking.
Yeah, I think you're gonna be on the top 100.
I think he's. I
don't think he's making that, dude. I think that.
You don't think so?
No.
What if he was 100? Even with another ring?
I think Kyrie, because y'all got to remember, there's gonna be another wave of players that come in. He's not gonna make it. I don't think he's ring. One more ring. It wouldn't even make sense, especially if he doesn't win another championship. It wouldn't make sense if he didn't make the top 75, but somehow when like hundreds of more eligible players are on, like he's gonna make it, especially now after like I'm gonna be honest. I expect a couple of other controversies to pop up for Kyrie. Like, and you know Kyrie, man, he's gonna say some stuff in the media they're not gonna like, and like he's cooked. So
I'm gonna leave it alone for now. I hope not. I hope you're wrong.
On that note, since
look, I'm not gonna lie. I thought he was done after the vaccine stuff. I was like, there's just no way he can do anything crazier than this. Then he shocked me. And, you know, whether you agree with him or not, he just handled that situation with the whole thing crazy. So it is what it is, man. I don't even.
No, you're right. You can't
predict anything with him.
But with that all being said, guys, like I said, we'll be back here on Tuesday evening, guys, 10:30 p.m. So tune in then. Same map time, same map channel. Go Mavs, and we out.
Peace.